Welcome to the zone. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Jack Johnson. Jason Anderson was questionable yet again. Downgraded out. We'll see if he's back tomorrow, fighting through something. We'll see if he comes back. It's like Bobby Witt with the back spasms.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jason right now. Unlike Andy Reid, I don't think it's believable when he said day-to-day on Xavier Worthy. I think he means they're taking the injury process day by day. I think Jason's actually day-to-day.
Day-to-day, to me, is the equivalent in the everyday world of, I'll get back to you and get you an answer here in a few days.
Yes.
And then you never hear back. You have to reach back out and say, well, can you tell me what you were still thinking? It's like, oh, I haven't gotten around to it.
I forgot about that.
I haven't gotten around to it. Give me an extra day, and we'll figure it out. That's what the equivalent is. We're day-to-day in the NFL world, man, that could be a worst-case scenario or it can be a best-case scenario.
It could be Eric Berry where you basically never play again. Or
day-to-day I saw a great tweet today. I'm blanking on who it was. I just scrolled past, and it was like Eric Berry's been day-to-day for 7 years.
Has anyone given less in a presser than Andy Reid?
Bill Belichick.
It's close.
It's close. It's almost the tone, though. I feel Andy Reid has more of the upbeat answer.
It's almost
like,
worse.
We'll see. Maybe.
He's almost like trying to pretend he wants to be there whilst giving you absolutely nothing.
No.
You haven't gotten with Rick yet. Really? You decided to do this
like you have.
Before Rick got here? Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. I just always laugh. I don't know how Andy Reid doesn't laugh when he gives these updates sometimes.
I mean, was it Schefter or Rappaport? I think it was Rappaport that said Worthy would probably miss a few weeks. Did I miss that? Did I misread that? I feel like he was on a podcast of some sort and said that he would probably be out a few weeks or miss some time, maybe he said, which is more clarity than we got from day-to-day. Day-to-day could mean he's fine today, but I don't believe that's possible.
I don't believe that
Let me
either.
double check on that so I'm not just spreading around.
I don't believe that either. I want to start here with the Royals, Jack. I don't know if we should. I don't know if I want to. We're going to. Royals in a pivotal 4-game series. Of course, it's pivotal because every series is pivotal at this point, late in the season. Royals got bludgeoned 10-2 by the Guardians. Guardians now a half game up actually on the Royals for that final wild card spot. Overall, Royals are 3 games back of that final wild card spot. This was the worst outing we have seen from Ryan Bergert since he became a Royal. Worst outing by Ryan Bergert in his major league career. It started off a little suspect with some weaker contact going against him, and then it was an implosion from then on. Defense in the game was not great overall. And oh yeah, they got no hit until the 8th inning by a guy whose last name I can't even pronounce. Slade Ciccone?
You can just call him Slade.
Slade, a band from the 1960s.
Yeah, former Arizona Diamondback.
What? Like, I get it. It's just one game. If you lose 10-2, it's the same as if you blew the game and you got walked off, right? It is the same in the
grand scheme of
things. The grand scheme of things.
Big picture.
But man, did last night feel ugly. Man, did last night feel disheartening. Only good thing was Cags coming through, drawing a walk, and then having a 2-out, 2 RBIs. That was a brutal game for a team fighting against this team even for that final wild card spot.
Can't really explain it in Cleveland. It just feels that they never play good ball there. They never seem to hit whoever Cleveland throws out there. Their pitchers, who usually have been great, seem to struggle there, and they wind up on the losing side of a lot of these games. Back when they were playing the Guardians in April, it was another ugly series, and that was, arguably one of their worst series of the first half. And you look at Cleveland's roster, not to take anything away from what they've done, because I believe that Stephen Vogt has done a fantastic job with the roster that he has. Cleveland rarely spends. Yes, they gave the extension to Jose Ramirez to keep him there, but then you have Josh Naylor, who they traded to Arizona for Slade Cecconi. They move on from players rather quickly. If they are giving out contracts, it's not to the biggest name players out there, but yet here they are, year after year after year, being a winning ball club. There is a bit of a ceiling. I know they got one win away from winning the World Series in 2016, but even last year, I mean, that team won over 90 games and then lost in Game 5, I believe it was, in the ALCS, Game 5, Game 6 to the Yankees. Look, they are a talented roster. They have pieces, and they certainly know what to look for in their pitchers. But this is a team that at this stage in the season, Sterling, should not be beating you 10-2. I know Bobby Wood Jr. was not available last night, or at least Matt Quatrero said that if a certain spot came up where they could test it out, maybe. And in my opinion, that meant ninth inning, bases loaded, you're down by one. We're going to try
Kirk Gibson. It's
exactly.
Kirk Gibson.
You're going to try to maybe force the issue there, but that was very unlikely. It's frustrating because these losses just happen in baseball. There's really no explanation, and you're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher, so there's a chance that the Royals do the same to Cleveland tonight. But to open up the road trip like this and to know that the Rangers won last night against Milwaukee, Seattle beat the Cardinals, now you've gone from 1 game back on Saturday to 3 games back. There are 2 teams ahead of you chasing Seattle. You lost a lot of percentage points on your playoff odds over the last 2 days.
I mean, you just look at the lineup for Cleveland, and it makes no sense. They have a brutal run differential this year. They are -40. The Royals not necessarily great right now. They're now -9, especially after this 8-run differential in this particular game. Yet Cleveland, you're right, keeps finding ways to win. Steven Kwan's had a down year. Schneemann is their number 2 hitter, batting .223. Jose Ramirez is going to probably finish top 5 yet again in MVP voting. I mean, you have a guy who was shipped away from Colorado because he couldn't play in Colorado, and Nolan Jones batting 5th for this team.
And he was in Cleveland originally, went to Colorado, came back to Cleveland. I mean, they have guys with talent. You can't win. What are they at right now? 73 or 74 and 71, something like that. You can't be terrible with, good talent, or I guess you can be terrible with good talent around you. Just all the pieces don't come together. What I'm trying to get at is, they're not an awful team. They're definitely not a team that when you look at their lineup 1 through 9, you go, oh, that makes sense. They would win 10-2. For example, if they lose to the Phillies this weekend 10-2 in one of those games,
sure,
I can make a case that, all right, I see Kyle Schwarber and his 50 home runs. Bryce Harper's hitting leadoff, even Trey Turner, Alec Boehm on the IL. There's still tons of pieces in that Philly lineup that can do a ton of damage. Or with Cleveland, they do a great job of getting production in big spots from guys that they're not counting on. And for the Royals right now, even though they had the 11th spot on Saturday, they're not getting enough production at times from the top of their order. And yes, Bobby Wood Jr. has not been available for the last 3 games, I believe it's been. And if you want to count maybe 3.5 games because he was pulled middle of Friday night's game. When you don't have that going for you in the Royals lineup, when you don't have your top hitters getting on base, moving runners over, driving them in, you're not relying on the bottom of the order to do that. And in last night's game, it's exactly what Cleveland did. Like, Brian Rocchio setting the tone. Then you've got Schneemann coming through. You've got C.J. Kafis having a broken bat double down the line. There was some misfortune for Ryan Berger. I really thought that, in that 6-run 4th inning, defense let him down. Mike Yastrzemski wasn't good in left field. Couple of softly hit balls, and then the dagger was the double off the wall in right center field that Cags came a few inches away from getting. Ugly game. Not going to excuse it. Unfortunately, it's just it can happen. It really can. There's not always a perfect definition for it. You'll say, well, they weren't ready to play. They weren't prepared. No, I'm sure they were. They had the tape on Cecconi, and they were ready to go, and Berger was planning to attack the Guardians. Didn't work out, though. You credit Cleveland. They were great. But now you put yourself in a hole to start this road trip. You've got 6 really tough games left, and got to get back up on the horse tonight.
Yeah, again, you look at Cleveland's lineup, it is a hilarity of how are they doing what they're doing. Bo Naylor batting .175 is their number 6 hitter. Just a ridiculous lineup of it's Milwaukee Brewers to an extent of Brewers are obviously the better, way better team. Yeah. But you're like, how do they keep getting away with this? Cleveland's been getting away with this for years and years and years now. The tough part is Royals need to sweep the final 3 games of the series because that would give them the season series over Cleveland, right? because right now Cleveland leads 6-4. You got to win all three. You got to sweep the last 3 games of this series to have, just in case, for that tiebreaker.
You do, and man, that is going to be, excuse me, that is going to be incredibly difficult. Yeah, I'm choking up. I'm sad because I don't see it being very likely that they win these next 3 games. I mean, you do have the favorable pitching matchup you would like to think in maybe 2 of the next 3 because you'll have Noah Cameron tonight going up against Cantillo, another lefty, and I think the reason they're throwing a lefty is because the Royals have really struggled in that department. You're going to have to sit some of your top guys, left-handed bats. I mean, Mike Yastrzemski is not going to be out there tonight. I would imagine Randall Grichuk and Nick Lofton will be in there. We'll see, though, because it also comes down to Bobby Witt Jr.'s availability. If Bobby Witt Jr. is not playing tonight, Mike Hill's going to be back at short. I'd imagine Adam Frazier or Lofton will be at third, and then you can put Kaggs maybe in right field, and you can put Lofton in left or Frazier in left, whatever you want to do there. Then you'll have Waka throwing on Wednesday, and it's Waka against I know that Gavin Williams throws on Thursday against Kolick, but I'm blanking on who Waka throws against on Wednesday.
Let me just go ahead and pull it up.
But either way, I know Waka would be the better arm.
Waka versus Logan Allen.
Logan Allen, yeah. So
another lefty.
Yeah, so that's I feel they're trying to load it up with lefties in the middle of this series because the Royals do struggle a lot against them. And the Royals have to take these next 2, of course. I mean, you said they need to take all 3 to win the season series, have that tiebreaker. I think bare minimum, you do have to split this series just so that you can leave Cleveland a half game ahead of them because I feel that would be exactly, you would be still a half game ahead of Cleveland. You're going to need your I-70 rival in the Cardinals to maybe take 1 in Seattle. They led 2-0 last night and blew that lead. The Rangers are playing outside of their mind right now.
Yeah.
They shut out the Brewers of all teams at home. They still have to take on the Brewers, the Mets, the Astros here over their next 3 series. So you're hoping for the odds to play into that favor, right? Where you can have the Rangers lose a few games, but first things first, you got to take care of business in Cleveland. And to lose like that, to get stomped on, the game over by, you could make a case, the 3rd inning. They didn't have a hit till the 8th inning. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they had a chance when it was 1-0. They didn't have a runner in scoring position until the 9th.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and say, when it was 1-0. Yeah, they technically had a chance. They never really threatened. And you got to have a much better showing tonight. Because if you lose tonight and Seattle wins, and now you're 4 games back, I'm not going to say it's over because every time we've done that, they found a way to crawl their way back into it. But they haven't been 4 games back of a playoff spot in quite some time here. They've pretty much been hovering around 3 games to 1 game. And to be 4 games back, you only know that the Mariners playing at home are going to get better. The Rangers continuing to play well. And now Cleveland has jumped you by, a game and a half.
I don't ever do this because I hate giving St. Louis anything because I just love ripping on St. Louis. It is just glorious.
You got to root for them, though.
But rooting for them, I don't know about rooting for, but I'm pleading at this point. St. Louis, I know I've said bad things about your pizza. I know I've called it cracker with ketchup and fake cheese. I know, okay? A saltine. I know I've said that, St. Louis. I know I've said many bad things about how you have no idea what to do with a bagel, how you're the only city that, gets stumped by bagels and how to cut them. I know, St. Louis, I've said these things. I know that I've said that your barbecue is 2 scoops of ass. I know, St. Louis, but I beg you, take care of business against the Mariners, and I will be slightly nicer to you.
It's funny because I just use the same phrase as well of taking care of business. Can we really use it when you're not favored to win? Like the Royals, I'm not even sure I can say they need to take care of business in Cleveland because they haven't played well there, right? And they've lost the season, or they're losing the season series 6-4. Like the Cardinals are not favored to win in Seattle. Or is it really taking care of business? I just thought about that at the top of my head.
You can take care of business.
You need to go
still.
Above and beyond is what you need to do.
You can still take care of business.
I don't have a problem rooting for them, to be honest with you, because they're a National League team, and I get there's the rivalry there still. But
no, man,
I have no problem.
Seen what they've done with pizza and
sure,
and
but this is a matter of the Royals getting into the postseason, and the Cardinals are not making the playoffs. So if they were in the American League, I think we have a different conversation here. But I got no issue.
I'll give them toasted Rabs. Okay, I'll give them that. I'll give them
Can't
some
say I've had
Italian
it.
food. What?
Not from St. Louis.
I'll give them that. That's all you get from me, St. Louis. It's all you get. But I'll be a staunch supporter if you take and go above and beyond, in the words of Jack, against the Mariners, okay? That's all I'm saying. The Royals against lefties, OPS at 664 versus righties, 709. We mentioned it, 2 lefties on the mound back-to-back nights for the Guardians. What is the lineup that you expect? I know we were talking briefly about that. Probably Nick Lofton, Randall Grichuk more than likely. I'm ready to just say, Carter Jensen, I would like to see you over Luke Maile. Luke Maile's not bringing you anything offensively. You got to score runs. I don't think Maile's good enough defensively for the difference. I don't. It's not Freddie Fermin. Like Lesky was talking yesterday about this, right? He was talking along the lines of, yeah, if it's Freddie Fermin, I get it. Because defensively, Fermin's a really, really good defensive catcher. Luke Maile, I don't think, is a great defensive catcher. So give me the bat. I don't care if it's a lefty-lefty matchup. I still believe in Carter Jensen at least taking a walk more so than Luke Maile. I get Luke Maile has a semi-role on this team. That's fine. But right now, when you need offense, especially if Bobby might not go, give me Carter Jensen. I don't give a hoot nor a holler that it's a lefty-lefty matchup. I just think that it's a little overblown because you look at the minor league splits of Carter, he hit lefties very, very well.
You know, I'm not sure it's as simple as a lot of people want it to be with, well, they got to play Cags and Jensen every single day. Because as much as I loved last night's lineup, where you had Cags in right field, the first time we saw Yastrzemski in left, you had Jensen DHing, and you had Salvi catching. Yeah, I would like to see Carter behind the plate as well. I'm not sure they're going to do it. Maybe they do at some point in a Sunday giveaway, or not giveaway, a getaway day, I should say. And they give him a chance to catch behind the plate, but this is now last night was the second or third start he's had. He's been DHing all the time that he's been out there. But the reason it's not as simple is if Carter's going to be in the lineup, all right, that means, and if you want him behind the plate, so that moves
Sure.
Salvador Perez to DH. That's fine by me.
Or move him, Carter, at DH and have Salvi
behind the plate.
catch.
It's interchangeable there.
Yes.
Yeah, the DH or catching. It doesn't really matter for those two. Then you go to the outfield, right? If we want Caglione to play, I mean, he can't play first. He can't DH, right? Because you have Salvi or Carter in that spot, and then Vinny's at first. He can play first, like ability-wise, but the spot's full right there. So you go to right field. Yeah, you can put Cags in right field and move Yaz to left, because I certainly don't want to put Caglione in left field. He's never played the position.
Sure.
But we got a glimpse last night of Yaz playing left field, and there's a reason he never plays left field. Like,
Sure.
This is a right fielder. He played a little bit of center in San Francisco, but he is a right fielder. And as much as we would like to say, well, you're an outfielder, you should be able to move over there, the read's different, and it's drastically different between right field and left field. And last night, he got burned on a ball that a lot of left fielders with familiarity of that position make that play. And Yaz is a good defender in right field. So when I look at it, and I look at the Royals outfield, do I want to have well below average defense in right with Caglione because he's a first baseman playing right field, and below average defense in left with Mike Yastrzemski, or would I rather have Mike Yastrzemski in right, have the good defense, be able to trust everything he has out there, and then probably pick between Carter and Cags, who I want in the lineup? Because you can pick between one or the other. That DH spot is open, which is why tonight Cantillo's actually better against righties than he is lefties, so I'm not sure they'll have a platoon-heavy lineup. You'll probably see Caglione out there because Yastrzemski doesn't hit lefties anyway. It doesn't matter if the lefty's worse against lefties. I just don't think we're going to see the platoon-heavy lineup. You can get a little bit more creative, but I feel the way moving forward this team needs to operate when Bobby gets healthy, because they probably can play Jensen and Caglione at the same time if Bobby's not available. But if he's not, or if he is available, I feel you got to pick between one or the other, truthfully. I feel the better move here is Caglione because he's got more big league experience. He is somebody that still has a higher upside ability. I feel that his ceiling is higher than Carter Jensen. It's not to say that I don't want to see Carter out there a lot, but for this specific year, and Caglione's looked pretty good since coming off the injured list, and he's still got that home run power. Carter does too, but he did at the minor league level. We haven't quite seen it yet in the major leagues, and he hasn't really gotten the opportunity. But I really do feel they have to pick between one or the other to play every day.
I think they should until it gets either A, so bad that you have to move
Absolutely.
on. And what if you get 5 games back, say, now
Then play 'em.
now it's the youth movement.
Yes.
I just hope I don't know if I say I hope, but Nick Lofton is actually worse versus lefties than righties. And I know he had that RBI double the other night, but I'm sorry, you're batting 196 versus lefties, 625 OPS versus lefties. I just will not understand this of him taking at bats away when he doesn't play a great defense either. I just think it's a little ridiculous of Q to keep trotting him out there when Frazier has the same OPS, actually slightly better against lefties than Lofton does. I just think there's so much of a confounding love of the lefty-righty, those sort of not even splits. He's not even looking at the splits. Just the 1980 style of lefty, righty versus lefty. So that's where I'm at there. I'm hoping Frazier is in the lineup. But as you mentioned, the reverse splits tonight.
It's difficult, too, because some of these guys that we do want to play every day, they're not everyday players. For instance, Adam Frazier has been great since coming back to Kansas City. We all know that. Do I believe that he's an everyday player? I really don't. I feel that his best value to this team is still that platoon infielder, that super utility guy.
Sure.
It's a reason why, for so long when Freddie Fermin was here, it was, why are they not playing Freddie every single day? Like, Freddie Fermin is better defensively behind the plate than Salvador Perez. Move Salvi to DH. He can rest there and just worry about hitting. And a lot of it comes down to you don't want to overexpose these players. Because some of these guys are great in spurts where, hey, you play them maybe 3 to 4 times a week, and they really thrive, but they're not 7-day-a-week guys. And I feel there's very few players in this lineup, actually, that are 7-day-a-week players. I would say that Bobby Witt Jr. is. I would say that Vinny Pasquantino is. I would say that Michael Garcia is. As much as we don't always want to admit it, I feel because of his defense and his speed, Kyle Isbell technically is a 7-day-a-week player, but he's also not good against lefties. So that goes against my point. He's more of a platoon bat, and you would need to find somebody next year that's equivalent to him from the right side. That's been the issue, in my opinion, with this Royals lineup and the construction of it. They need to be very intentional in the offseason about finding good bench right-handed options.
Yes, because you even look at right now this year at least, Perez is OPS in 773 versus righties, 543 versus lefties.
Yeah.
And that's been a big issue why the Royals have struggled, because that's a guy you count on to feast, which he traditionally has against lefties. Before you take a break, just a couple of quick questions for you. Are you concerned at all with Michael Garcia? A mini slump, if you will? He's not been as hot as he was, obviously, for the majority of the season.
I'm not overly concerned. He's had such a phenomenal year, and it's going to be one of the more valuable years we've seen from a Royals infielder. I mean, it's very clear that they have their left side of the infield moving forward. And for Michael, look, he had about 4 or 5 slumps last year that were just ghastly. I mean, there was one I remember, and it was back early on in the season when we thought, this is the Michael Garcia that we've been seeing this year, right? He's hitting 285. He's their leadoff hitter. He's crushing the ball. He's hitting the ball hard. There was a little bit of power. And then he went like 1 for 36. It was some ridiculous, awful stretch that he never really climbed out of. This year, he's done a really good job of minimizing those slumps. We haven't seen too many of them. I mean, hence why he's hitting 292 or whatever it is. I would love to see him finish the year hitting 300 just because it's nice to see that round number, and you can call yourself a 300 hitter, and he's played such excellent defense over at third. I'm not overly concerned, though, because what he does well, it does prevent you from those extended slumps. He doesn't strike out at all. He's done a better job at getting on base via the walk this year, and what's his best trait? He barrels the hell out of the ball. I mean, last night, it was a great play in center by Daniel Schneemann. Like, that has a little bit more velocity to it, a little bit more tail. It's a RBI double, and then there you're feeling better about the outcome of that game. But I feel tonight, I mean, if Bobby gets back in the lineup, he gets to move back down in the order to the cleanup spot where he's really been good this year. I feel he can get back on track because all it takes for him is one multi-hit game, and now he's back on his hot streak.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm all in on Michael. I'm all in on him going forward. It's not a great time for Michael to have a semi-slump. Vinny, over the past few games, a little step back, and then Salvador Perez. Salvi's struggling right now. 237, 280 on base percentage, 441 slug. But Salvi's really had a nice little, slump When I say nice, I mean in a bad way. We'll take a break. We'll come back. I want to talk some NFL. I do want to talk a little bit about Tyreek Hill, some non-good news regarding Tyreek Hill. I want to talk about Monday Night Football as well. J.J. McCarthy led a phenomenal comeback for the Vikings, 3 touchdowns in that fourth quarter. We'll come back to Zone Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Jack Johnson, Michael Darcy. Just found out that they're making a Spinal Tap 2.
Who's going to be in it?
Elton John, Paul McCartney, Questlove, Garth Brooks.
Is this really necessary?
No. But will I watch it?
Probably.
Yes. The ad, and it's an
Anything
ad.
for money.
It's an ad. I get that. The ad looks good. And with it being Spinal Tap, it doesn't have to be the best. Like, Happy Gilmore 2 was atrocious. I laughed a lot, which is going to be like an oxymoron of
I feel like it was just supposed to be bad.
No, but like, it was like too bad. Like, why is like...
But everybody saw that coming.
No, I didn't see it that bad.
Really?
I'm not, but the first one's like funny bad, but like it doesn't have CGI. Why is CGI involved in Happy Gilmore?
I agree, but it's also
Get
like
outta here.
I didn't hate Anchorman 2, but like when they made Anchorman 2 after Anchorman 1, it's like
I
you're not
did
going
not-
to come any close. You didn't see Anchorman 2?
I might have. I
It
don't
came
know
out
if I remember that.
probably 10 to 12 years ago. I
Dumb and
wanna say.
Dumber 2. Yeah, I know.
Sucked.
All I'm saying, this looks good. And it's funny because you could do it with Spinal Tap, like a music, a band or a concert, right? You can do it because it's your final show. And it's great because, for me, it's like all the bands that I loved, they're all 75 years old. I love AC/DC. I love Kiss.
They're all in it too?
No, but I'm
Oh.
saying, like, you can have the parallels of the 70s, 80s version. This is 41 years after the original Spinal Tap, so that would have came out in 86 or 84.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
A lot of bands were very... Def Leppard was crushing in 88. There's so many bands who are going to be around this age that you'll find the funny parallels to. When I go see classic rock bands now and I'm still watching dudes in spandex and they're 75 years old, part of me is like, that's kind of funny. Like, they're still playing the same bit, which I'm glad they do, right? I'm glad. But it does make you laugh a little bit. And so I think Spinal Tap 2 has the potential to be a good sequel.
I bet it will be on your guys' Rotten Tomatoes game in a year, and you guys are going to guess it, and I unfortunately think you're going to go way over what it really is. I feel this movie's going to bomb, and I haven't even seen this ad.
The ad looked pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
You gave me a bunch of non-actors that were in this
but
movie.
there's Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer. It's the original folks
Okay, I didn't know the originals were in there.
of the movie. Questlove is going to be the new drummer because they've gone through at least 11 drummers because they always die. That's part of the bit, right?
Yeah.
It looked pretty. I'm just saying. When does it come out? When does Spinal Tap 2 come out? Because I will watch it. Apparently, I've looked it up before.
Probably next year.
Wait, is it already out? It's an hour and 22 minutes. I think it's in right now. 7 p.m.? I can go see it?
There you go. You got plans for tonight.
Oh, it looks like September 12th.
I
it
think
comes
I
out.
have some breaking news for you.
That Spinal Tap 2?
It's not
Comes
about
out in
Spinal
3
Tap
days?
2. Yeah, I'm double checking. Because, again, I couldn't find that Ian Rappaport thing about Xavier Worthy, so maybe I need to pump the brakes a little bit. But this is from Andy Staples on Twitter, covering college football for On3 Sports. The Big 12 has removed the crew from the Kansas-Missouri game from its next assignment.
Wow.
They had a press release. The Big 12 officials in Saturday's Kansas-Missouri game allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6 of NCAA football rules. The Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment on Friday, September 12th. This is from Big 12 Chief Football Competition Officer Scott Draper. We believe we have one of the best officiating programs in college football. That's hilarious. When the conference's high standard for officiating is not met, the Big 12 will take action.
One, awesome they're taking action, right? There's
So that would have been after
repercussions.
the swatted ball. That was a
Yes.
safety, and then Kansas had the free kick. That's not allowed? That's what it says here.
Yeah,
they allowed a punt to
Wait.
occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2. Or are they saying the SWAT?
Well, the SWAT obviously was one. The face mask was two. That was a big play. But I do think there was a free kick. I thought for some reason Missouri,
Kansas did not punt on their safety. They did set up for a free kick. So unless they're meaning
Missouri,
here,
I think, punted one. I'm trying to think of when that happened. It may have when did that happen? Because I said something. I was at some friend's house and I was drinking some Cutwaters. I was
those are popular now.
They're delicious. The lime margarita. It was a margarita party, so I brought my own margaritas. These lime margarita Cutwaters. They're really good. But I was like, is Missouri? So I was a little bit, some adult beverages.
As one does.
But Missouri punted one.
On kickoff?
On kickoff. And I was like, did Missouri just punt on a kickoff? Let me see if I can find that. Who brought this up?
This was from Andy Staples on Twitter. Andy_Staples.
Okay.
Covers college football for On3 Sports.
So
their next, I'm assuming that meant their next assignment was for Arizona and K-State. Because it says their next scheduled assignment was Friday, September 12th, which would be this Friday, and I believe the only Big 12 game, though technically, as we found out yesterday, it's not a conference game between Kansas State and Arizona. But I'm pretty sure that is a Big 12 game that, well, I guess they have Houston and Colorado.
It was Kansas, yeah. Missouri scored in a safety. Kansas kicked
That's
the ball
what I'm talking about.
Although
So
they did it via a free kick in the form of a punt.
So I'm confused in this if they're saying they allowed that to happen, which what Kansas did was not, you can't do that, or if it was saying the safety in general was like they forced the free kick because of the safety missing the SWAT call.
It said, according to NCAA rules, it allows place kicks or drop kicks, not punts.
So, yeah, you talk about that's the call they go to say that's not up to standard for us.
So that's
clear
the one.
violation.
That's
clear
the one.
violation. We have one of the best Big 12 officiating crews in the country. We hold them to standard.
Well, I will say this. I appreciate them, not necessarily the call I thought they were going to go with, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you actually have some sort
I want some accountability.
Yeah.
We never see that. I do appreciate it. It was not for the cause we just discussed. It's not the call that we both expected, because I also feel that when they're reviewing things, for instance, the swatted ball, the face mask that was not, you can go into the mind of an official and say, in real time, unfortunately, I missed that.
Yeah,
right?
Those are tough. Jalen Daniels' head snapped back.
Yeah, if you're behind the play, you're going, oh, he didn't shove him out of bounds. He grabbed around there. His head whips around. I'm going to call a face mask there.
The batted ball,
I can't determine whether he was trying to grab it or not. Yeah.
So, which brings up the question of should those be reviewable?
I don't know how the swatting, and this is from a Kansas, so I get it comes across as bias. I'm surprised that there are I get you want to get the game moving. You can't review every little thing in the sport, but I feel with that replay, like you can look at that and say that's a pretty clear swat. Same thing with a face mask. If I have the angle where he grabs the shoulder pad and not the bar of the helmet, then you can overturn that. But I get, the NFL, when they did it with pass interference, it was terrible for the sport where you had to slow it down all the time. People were challenging pass interference. It was never overturned.
Because they wanted to protect the refs.
Yes, but I feel that can be done rather quickly.
Yeah.
Like those were two plays that, Kansas gives up 2 points there in the safety, and then also on the face mask, they go down and kick a field goal. So Missouri gave up 3 points on that play. I mean, those are big swings. Now in the end, it was an 11-point victory. So
Sure.
we're talking about a moot point. So I just wonder with situations like this, if you have a clear-cut violation, you cannot do that. That is in the rule book. Then it's easier to give them a week off. But that's a pretty harsh punishment for something that none of us were even talking about.
Yeah.
Free kick where you punt it.
Yeah.
I guess you can't do.
I didn't hear any person.
Nobody talked about it.
I remember finding it different.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, The kick went to like the 25 or the 30. Missouri got to the 35, and that was it. Nobody talked about it after that.
But so in the NFL, it's also not reviewable the batted ball, and the reason is because they don't want it to be defined of an intentional act on video, I guess. They want it to be, which makes it seem nearly impossible because you can't see hands or intent a lot of times without the video access. Because when it was real time, I didn't think it was a batted ball.
Until you get that angle from the end zone.
And
where,
you see the Missouri player's hand come in and knock it.
Yeah.
I would think that, especially a play like that, when that's a very uncommon play.
Super uncommon.
Right? Maybe that happens a handful of times a year. We saw it in the Chargers game versus the Chiefs when Ladd McConkey
fumbled it forward.
and he knocked it out. But that was obviously called as a batted ball, and the ball went back, right? I think that was the Chiefs-Chargers game.
I was wondering in that spot if they had the angle. Let's say an official was in front of the play and he sees the ball getting swatted. Is it then? Because at that point, you can't count it as clear recovery because the ball wasn't recovered. Is that then a penalty? Missouri takes over at that spot, or is it Kansas keeps the ball because there was a swat on the play?
Yeah.
I actually do not know the rule. If you were to call it a batted ball, is it Missouri's ball in that spot because they were the one to get a paw on it?
I think it'd be Kansas. It would be
Kansas's ball to keep it there at that spot.
They had the ball. It's because in the NFL, at least, the Chargers don't.
They don't lose possession.
They keep the
But
possession.
the penalty is how many yards back? It's 5.
10, 15.
10.
I should have.
Because we know you can't fumble. Yeah, when you fumble the ball forward,
Yeah.
right? It just goes back to where you fumbled it.
Sure.
Unless you fumbled out of the back of the end zone, that's a touchback, which that's not the case in this situation.
But again, I like the accountability of the Big 12. Not the call we thought it was going to be. I wish that certain plays had video access and reviewability, and other ones I understand why there's not. Pass interference.
Yeah.
Holding would be a nightmare. I get those. But I do feel like a play like this that is a less common occurrence makes sense because I would be on the Jayhawk side of things where that would be a batted ball. I get that. I think the face mask a lot of times could be a quick review, by the way. That should be fairly simple. It should take 10 seconds. That's not necessarily an intent aspect, especially with it no longer being a 5-yard versus accidental versus non-incidental contact.
And truthfully, at the end of the day, too, which, we deal with this all the time in Kansas City with the Chiefs, like, batted ball, not face mask or not, at the end of the day, Missouri made more plays than Kansas. They won that game by 11. Kansas shot themselves in the foot, punted under 3 minutes on that 4th down, had to save, got sacked in the first place. If you just go down there is no batted ball because you got sacked. You take the 15 to 17-yard loss. It's not an issue.
It was why I was not, in the moment you're upset about for the Chiefs game, the non-holding call against Shamari Connor.
Make a play down the stretch.
That's not the one that's going to lose you the game. Is it frustrating? Yes. Did it result in points? Yes. End of the day, there are a ton more plays. Chris Jones doesn't go inside. Calls happen in the landscape of college sports, NFL, any sport. But holding and a lot of times pass interference are the two that I just think you can't let the ref decide.
No,
you can't blame for a specific call in that situation. It's like when MVS got just destroyed by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
But I don't think Chiefs fans
played horribly for 3.5 quarters.
It's a 3.5 quarters, not the one non-call that went against you. Same thing with the Chiefs, Chargers. Yeah, it was a bad non-call. Yeah, that's not the reason why the Chiefs lost that game. Again, just bringing that up again, Big 12 officials in that Missouri-Kansas game. The conference of the Big 12 has removed the officiating crew from its scheduled game this weekend following the call, according to Andy Staples of On 3 Sports. We'll take a break, come back, more Zone next. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Jack Johnson. We figured it out.
Well, listeners figured it out.
Listeners, but this is what I was saying, and then we looked at the article, and the article, I think, was slightly wrong in regards to what transpired, because the punting after the safety, all that.
I was like,
matter.
you can free kick or punt in a safety situation.
And it was, I believe, the first drive when Missouri scored, and they got flagged for the personal foul for the excessive celebration,
yes.
right?
Kick gets blocked.
Kick gets blocked.
And the kicker he was limping.
The kicker looked like he was limping, and I was like, okay, that's not good. They punted, Missouri. So remember I said, I was like, I'm pretty sure Missouri was the team that punted. And I was right. Credit to me for being correct. Thank you, listeners, for bringing this up. Thanks, Larry.
I was watching this game in
Steve.
public, so I just saw the ball, and I didn't even pay attention to that. So
yeah,
nobody brought that up. That's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, that's why I said it was so weird. And then I saw this. I go, was that what it was for? And then I think the article was slightly wrong in regards to they were talking about the safety. It was prior to that. It was when Missouri actually punted. And I was perplexed, confused, bamboozled what was happening. Because you even look at it, if you look at the game log as well, we were trying to look at the condensed game. But after that, Connor Wesselman kicked off. He punted, and he is the punter. I'm like, that's the punter.
Where did that ball get to?
The 29, and then KU took it out to the 38 for a 9-yard return.
So technically, it probably worked out better than what a kickoff would have been, because you're kicking off, you're getting to right near the end zone. You're probably getting to the 20, the 25. So Kansas got 15 extra yards because they punted, which is why I believe nobody said anything, was because if you're punting on kickoff, you're not booming it to the end zone. And you're trying to probably get what a pooch kick would accomplish, where you get it to one of those blockers in a spot and they can only get a few extra yards.
I remember in the moment thinking this is weird, and then I just forgot about it because
I think I just remember it being a good return. I was like, oh, I got a 40.
Yeah, so there we go. Doesn't matter either way. The Big 12 refs that were in the Mizzou KU game are suspended from their next Big 12 assignment.
That's pretty harsh.
So
that's I can't recall a time last year that at least I'm sure our listeners who have been absolutely on top of it here in this hour, they might be able to find another time. But for that ban for 1 week, I don't know if it was going to be the Houston, Colorado game or K-State, Arizona. Probably Houston, Colorado, because that technically is a Big 12 game, where K-State, Arizona is not.
Technically not.
Though they could still officiate that game in Tucson.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, Braden Gall coming up next, talking some college football. Before we get out of here, Jack, Vikings, Bears, thoughts on McCarthy, thoughts on Williams real quick?
I hated watching that game. I hated watching the quarterback play. Credit to the Vikings. I've not seen them win too many games like that over the last handful of years. You're down 11. The Bears had the pick six. They got all this momentum, and they scored 21.
Yeah.
21 in the fourth quarter.
2 throwing, 1 rushing.
Finally, Justin Jefferson got involved.
It's the whole McCarthy. He's a winner.
He's a winner.
That's going to continue to happen. I don't even know my thoughts on him yet. All I know is Williams does not win. He did in college, and he's not yet in the NFL.
That was ugly.
Give Luther the ball. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Jack, appreciate it. Braden Gall coming up next.
I am not yet. I think Tennessee's in for a rude awakening on Saturday against Georgia. Notre Dame, not sure what to make of them. I think they're a good football team, but their one challenge, they weren't really close to pulling the upset on Miami, and I think Miami's okay, but I'm not super high on that Miami coaching staff. I don't. That's a great question. At this point of the year, you're sort of starting to blend results and sort of preconceived notions, and Michigan and Alabama and Florida being outside of the top 15 or 20. I think that's totally fair. I bet you one of them is bounces back and is fine. So I just don't know. Like, Illinois doesn't have a tough schedule, so I'm not going to say that they're a pretender. Do I think they're the ninth best football team in America? Probably not. But they don't have a schedule that's going to destroy them this year. They could easily be 10-2, just like Indiana and Tennessee last year, using relatively quote unquote easier schedules to get into the playoff. I really don't have a problem with that. If Illinois goes 10-2 and their losses are to Ohio State and Indiana, that's probably good enough to get into the playoff.
Arch Manning, is he back? Did he bounce back? What do you make of it? Obviously, as a kid, he had so much heaped on him, but also how many times have we seen top high school guys or prospects not necessarily translate to the college level? What's Ugalele didn't do? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. What do you make of Arch Manning in this saga in Texas?
I don't think it's a saga yet. I mean, if my guess is because they'll have two more, relatively easy wins on the schedule where he probably is going to do the things he did last week in the win over San Jose State. And if you go 3-1, you're going to go on the road to Florida. And if all the same things we saw against Ohio State are there against Florida, which is a good defense, hostile environment on the road, like if you're jittery and jumpy in the pocket, you're missing open receivers on short, easy crossing routes, like that kind of stuff, and it takes you 3 quarters to settle in, then maybe I've got some concern, and we can have a conversation that week about, maybe we need to have a conversation. But I think, Lenore Sellers last year in his first start for South Carolina, against Old Dominion was atrocious. He is now considered the number 1 pick in the draft. So I just think, and Old Dominion, I don't know if you guys know this, but Old Dominion, not Ohio State, and that game was at home. Point is like your first start as a true starting quarterback for your team. I don't know how much truth is in there. I'm not saying that I wasn't concerned about certain things. Of course, everybody should be, but also that's the defending champion Ohio State Buckeyes on the road in a hostile environment with the best safety and linebacker in America on Lee Corso Day, picking the Buckeyes to win. There's a lot there to deal with, and Ohio State's very, very good. So I'm going to wait to see if he does the same thing against Florida on the road, and then they struggle against Oklahoma in Red River. I think we could start to have a conversation in the next few weeks about that. I just am not ready to do that yet. I mean, he's outside of the toughest game he's ever played in his life. He's been largely unstoppable, and so I'm not going to. You got to do better in those games eventually because that's what the expectations are. But I wasn't picking him to win the Heisman. I just don't think the favorite wins the Heisman. I think he's been unfairly hyped, not even his own fault there. Yeah. I have a feeling Arch Manning's going to be fine.
Yeah. So. I do think some of the unfair hype is always going to surround him because of the last name, obviously. Before I let you go here, Braden, should College Game Day be in Columbia, the Missouri Columbia, when they face South Carolina? And if Missouri beats South Carolina, would you be ready to say they are for real, especially in the college football playoff hunt?
I mean, the playoff hunt is the beauty of the playoff hunt is that everybody's in the race. And if Kansas is good and you beat Kansas by double digits at home, that's a good win. And I agree that South Carolina changes the expectation. And that's a very winnable game. Those two teams have, got a lot of fun history in the past, especially with Beamer and Drinkwitz, and it's going to be very interesting and a lot of fun. And, atmosphere should be great. If you win that game, you should beat Louisiana and UMass. So then you're hosting Alabama in a moment where you could get Alabama. And so, it wasn't close recently, but I think that you just have to kind of keep handling your business. And I know it's super, super cliche, but a lot of coaches get this way in November in college football who have teams that are, 7-1 or whatever 8-2 that are close and have a couple more games to go. Control your destiny. Just go win. And if you go beat South Carolina and you go beat Alabama, all bets are off. You're in the playoff at that point. So, and yes, you still got tough games left to go, but those are the two games you probably could split if you can get A&M at home. Maybe you split Auburn and Oklahoma on the road. Like there's more difficulty there than I think people realize, but you beat South Carolina at home, the whole world pays attention after that.
Yeah, I always laugh at this was supposed to be an easy schedule for Missouri, yet they still play South Carolina, Alabama, at Auburn, A&M, Oklahoma. Right. That's when you know it's a grind.
At Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt at home is going to be hard to beat. What's fascinating too, and when I say like people start to pay attention, that's probably the bad way to put it because Missouri's a good program, and people who care about this sport, reporters and fans, we know exactly what Missouri's doing. We know exactly what Baylor's doing. We know exactly what, Utah was doing before the season started. Like we know it's the casuals that don't necessarily give enough love to programs like that aren't paying attention, that don't realize, oh, well, Missouri's quality of talent on their roster over the last 5 years has been elevated substantially. Oh, Utah's always kind of consistently better than their rankings indicate other than last year. Like those are the programs, Iowa State is just constantly not a top-of-mind program from the casual fan, but anybody who knows this sport knows what they're doing. And so I want to make sure that's clear. It's not like, oh, I'm going to pay attention to Missouri. They start to get attention in circles where people aren't paying attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah, not a casual, Braden Gall. Make sure you follow him on the X at Braden Gall. Check out all of his great work as well. 440 Sports. Braden, really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. I had a chance to interview Bills quarterback Josh Allen. A lot of fun talking with Josh. I interviewed him prior to, obviously, last night's, or should I say Sunday night's game. Interviewed him a little bit last week. I hope everyone enjoys it. So coming up next, the interview I had with Josh. lot of fun talking with Josh. This was sponsored by Snickers. And if you listen to it, I left it in because that was kind of fun. There's a whole bunch of sauces that Snickers came out with. And it's not the type of sauces that you think. We're not talking ice cream. We're talking for chicken. They dropped off chicken at my house at 6:30 in the morning. I was an early interview with Josh, so I'm trying the sauces on the Zoom call with Josh as he's describing it. So I left it in because that was kind of fun. We talk about the 13-second game and a whole lot more. So here is the interview I had with Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Thanks for having me on.
Have you had that intro before with the cantaloupe, cotton, and wheat?
You know what? I don't think I have. That's a first. So that was pretty good.
You're a diversified man, but I do want to start here. We all know game time snacks are an essential part of watching football, and you need the right snack to munch on when halftime hunger hits, with the classic Snickers bar being a clear game day essential to satisfy hunger. You teamed up with Snickers, and you have a really cool thing rocking right now. Can you tell me more about this partnership that you have?
Yeah. Obviously, being in Buffalo, we know how to tailgate here. So I feel like I'm the man for this job to help with this project, right? It's a limited edition trio of dipping sauces made with real Snickers ingredients. So you got chocolate barbecue, peanut teriyaki, and then you got caramel buffalo. And you might be thinking, there's no way these taste very good. Okay. Have you tried them yet?
No, this is my first time. I just took the tops off right now. So I have the three sauces.
I'm just gonna let you know you're gonna be unbelievably surprised because I was too. And I'm thinking sitting here, there's no way that this is gonna be very good. I'm in shock right now. I just tried them about 5 minutes ago. I don't even know what to say. They are so freaking good.
I got my chicken right here. So okay. I got some chicken right here. Which one should I try first?
All right, so I think you should try chocolate barbecue first because I think peanut teriyaki is my favorite.
Okay.
Okay, and you're going to get a couple like different sensations, but it mixes together so well.
Different sensations.
For, like, dipping, they're for dipping, they're for drizzling your food. They're not to like marinate or anything, but they're just to enhance the snacking and game day experience.
Wow. What?
Right?
That is incredible.
Okay.
That is incredible.
I'm
going to point out to you something here. I'm in Kansas City, so I apologize in advance from being from Kansas City.
All good.
But we know barbecue here in Kansas City. We know sauces here in Kansas City. That is outstanding.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Just wait.
All right. Caramel buffalo up next. Boom.
This one is really good too.
Wow.
It changes as you eat too.
I don't know how these work. Like, I don't understand. My mind.
I'm still a little mind blown from it, honestly.
My mind is playing tricks on me because then you eat it and you are taken aback by the deliciousness of something that you thought, no chance.
Yeah. And
no chance.
Peanut teriyaki it blew me away.
I do like this. So good, you'll jump through a table.
Yeah.
I like the branding right there. Have you jumped through a table, Josh? Is that something you partake in your free time?
Not since I've been in the league, but my 20th birthday, yes, I did.
How'd that go for you?
My dad wasn't too happy. That's a story for another time.
Was it at least a good table or a bad table? Oh my gosh, that is... The peanut teriyaki really gets you.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. I'm mind blown. Snickers, you've done something that I thought was impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. When I got these, I thought, is it for ice cream?
Correct.
And then I see chocolate buffalo, or I see caramel buffalo. No chance that's for ice cream. I'm not putting buffalo sauce on ice cream, but now I might actually because it's very, very good.
Probably could.
But for chicken, my man, that is incredible. By the way, I want to point something out. Josh, you and I have met one time prior to this. You'll have no idea. It was in Lake Tahoe for the American Century Championship.
Oh, heck
I
yeah.
was the guy. So Trevor Lawrence had lost all of his clothes because the airline forgot his clubs and his clothes, so he had to buy clothes. We were behind him, so we were talking with Trevor Lawrence like the entire weekend. You guys were back to back, and we were trying to figure out who was taller the entire night. And we made you guys stand back to back. So there's no chance you remember this at all, but we found it so funny. After a few adult beverages, I could have probably gone through a table as well, but we had you and Trevor stand back to back because we thought that that was absolutely hilarious. So just throwing that out there.
Who was taller?
I'm sorry, it was Trevor by a bit because I bet on you. I bet on you, Josh, and I was slightly let down. It was by like a half inch.
That's on me.
That's on you. Next time, wear some taller shoes just for that, okay? Just for that. I do want to talk about just what you've done in your NFL career and just your career in general, the growth, the learning, the evolution. I think that's been the paramount description of your football career, from under-recruited, from Reedley to Wyoming, from your first playoff experience to now. Where do you think that you've grown the most?
As a player or as a person?
Both.
I think I've become more calm as a person, understanding kind of what's in front of me, how blessed I truly am, the perspective that I have on life, having the support and family and my wife that I do. Like, I'm a very calm guy because my life is pretty dang good. It's everything I envisioned as a kid. And then on the field, I think it kind of correlates. It's the patience that I've learned to have on the field. Of, this last year, kind of taking what they were giving me and obviously limiting the turnovers and not trying to force into the every which direction the ball, and just letting the game come to me. And I think that it does kind of, I didn't ever recognize that it kind of mirrored the outside world too, my life. And I think it's pretty cool.
Is that something that's fairly common, where a lot of times stuff off the field translates on the field? Or there are certain situations that maybe folks in the media, folks who are just fans, don't understand? Like we see training camp, we see all of the workouts, but a lot of times there's stuff that we don't see. Is that maybe the biggest impact on the field that fans and media don't see?
I would say so. I mean, I think football in general just teaches so many life lessons. Starting from when I was a kid, right? Like, some of the hardest, most enjoyable things I've ever done have come on the football field, and I've gained new perspective on it. Going back to college, I broke my collarbone. Just like little things like taking a shower and being able to wash underneath my armpits. Like, that's, you take that for granted, and then until you can't, use your arm, you're like sitting there, and it's not a good time. So there's that, and I think on the other side of trusting your teammates, getting to know them more off the field, it allows you to trust them more on the field. And I think that's also really cool about the game that I get to play.
Well, let's do something then. We'll talk a little bit about your teammates right now, because we'll play a little game. It's a quick hitter game. I'm going to say some quick questions. You answer them quick. We'll have some fun here. Who is the funniest Buffalo Bill?
Deion Dawkins.
Have you or will you ever go drifting in his car?
Absolutely. I have not yet, but I will. I will. If he asks me, I just don't know about the weight limits, because he's a big guy. I'm a big guy. I don't know what the weight limits are talking about in those cars, but I would absolutely love to.
One Bill you'll never want to fight with. You see training camp fights all the time. One Bill you're like, nah, no matter what happens, I'm not getting a tussle with that guy.
Spencer Brown.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
It's a good call. Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Okay.
Next question.
Peanut teriyaki, chocolate barbecue, or caramel buffalo on these Snickers sauces?
I'm at a loss because I love buffalo sauce. Buffalo is obviously, makes sense, right? But that peanut teriyaki was dang good. I can't forget about it. So I'm not going with peanut teriyaki.
I like that. Rather throw a touchdown or run for one?
Throw one.
Okay. Do you have a touchdown celebration planned already, or do you just wing it every single time?
Every time I score, I wing it. But the first rushing touchdown that I get, hopefully this year, God willing, I'm doing the Fat Perez Euro step. So I owed him one. He beat me in a one-hole match last year. in golf. So I promised him I would do it. And then when I score, like your mind just kind of blacks out, unless you're like practicing something, you forget it. And I didn't do it last year. So I promised him the first rushing touchdown that I have this year, I will do it. So hopefully game day Josh in between the white lines can remember that.
I love that. Which Bill would you tab to have the biggest breakout this year?
Keon Coleman.
Oh, I love that. All right. A lot of fans are fans of Josh Allen. What is Josh Allen a fan of?
I'm a fan of golf. I think that's maybe known. I like to golf. Let's see. I'm a fan of nature. I think that kind of comes from golf. Land and I grew up in the middle of nowhere in the country and peace and quiet. I think that's pretty dang cool. But here in Buffalo at the house, we've got deer coming through our front yard and backyard every single day. Had two flocks of geese have I don't even know how to say geeslings. Had baby.
Never heard baby geese.
Yeah, and they absolutely destroyed my yard and my driveway, but it was cool to see them. So yeah, nature.
Well, man, if they destroyed my lawn, you have a way better outlook on life than I do. Because me and squirrels, we're in a standoff right now. Me and squirrels, they eat my garden. They steal my tomatoes, and they just watch me do it. They just sit there, eat the tomato, take one bite, and leave. So I'm glad that you were way better with nature than I am. When it comes to Hard Knocks, this has been a little evolution of Hard Knocks, right? They have the MVP on now. They have a great team in Buffalo on now. How has this been for you where, I don't know if you're the most public guy, but now you're almost forced to be public with all this access? How's that transition been like?
You know what? When we were originally announced, I'll be the first to admit I wasn't too happy about the whole situation because to your point, anything and everything with Hard Knocks had to do with teams that were coming off a losing season or a young quarterback draft pick or just kind of I wouldn't say dysfunctional organizations, but you were kind of in the realm of the teams that weren't playoff teams, right? So I viewed it as a bad thing. And then practice one came around. I was mic'd up, and I felt like I changed who I was because I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to draw any more attention. And then I told myself after that practice, like, that's not going to make me better. That's not going to make my teammates better. So next time I was mic'd up, I tried to let loose and actually be who I was. I was pleasantly surprised how upfront and honest they were about when and who they were filming. We had asks that they granted. And the crew was awesome. NFL Films, the entirety of their crew that was there was awesome. They did their jobs. They were respectful. So it turned out to be a much greater experience than I thought we were going to have.
That's awesome. I hope enough time has passed here because I want to ask something. It's about the 13-second game. I told you I'm here in Kansas City, but for me, just even the fan aspect of this, that may have been the greatest game in fourth quarter I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Win or lose, it almost didn't matter. You're just engrossed in the game. But for you, what was going through your mind during the entirety of that one? You and Gabe Davis could not have a connection. It was just incredible. The zone you were in was something that, again, I don't know if we've seen before. And then just obviously the culmination of it all. What was it like for you, just the range of emotions?
Honestly, that whole up until the last play, I didn't have like an emotion throughout the game. I was just kind of steady here. We scored late. I let some emotion out, and then I got right back to even kill. And then we know what happens, and we don't need to talk about it. But yeah, that was definitely a game where the term flow state it gets thrown around, but it definitely felt like that's when I found flow state.
Yeah. When it comes to your Mount Rushmore of all-time quarterbacks,
Ooh.
who are you throwing on there?
Tom. I'm gonna since I like this is my era. Like I would love to put Joe Montana and Steve Young on Mount Rushmore because I loved how they played the game. I grew up a Niners fan. But if I'm going to go Tom. I'm going to go Aaron. I'm going to go Peyton. And then there's this quarterback I didn't give enough credit growing up. Drew Brees.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, an absolute stud. Absolute.
When you look back at those numbers of Drew Brees too, you're always just mind blown.
Yeah.
You're just shocked. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. He put up some unbelievable numbers, and like he had good players around him, but not like the guys, like he made everybody around him better. And Joe Brady, our offensive coordinator, is a New Orleans Saints guy. He came from the Saints. So we see a lot of film with Drew Brees and some of the throws that he would make and the way that he had to get on his tippy toes to see over old linemen. Like it was fun to watch. And I didn't watch him enough as a kid growing up to understand the gravity and magnitude of how good he actually was. So he'd be up there.
Before I let you go, Josh, I know you have a large investment in your family farm, the Allen Ranch, cultivating over 2,500 acres of pistachio trees. Are we going to have a collab with Snickers? Are we going to do a Josh Allen pistachio Snickers, and then we can dunk it in this deliciousness, which is these Snickers sauces?
It has been talked about, and I'm never going to say never to it. So we got to start producing more fruit before we do that, though. So we got to get some more nuts going.
I like that. Josh Allen, big nut guy. Josh Allen and Snickers. Really appreciate Snickers as well. Cannot get over how mind blown I am by the caramel buffalo, chocolate barbecue, peanut teriyaki. I know a lot of folks in KC, you're going to say, hey, chocolate barbecue, what are you doing to barbecue sauce? I promise you, I swear to you, the Sterling stamp, it's delicious.
There we go.
I promise you, you're going to dig it. Josh Allen, MVP. Josh, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sterling.
Thank you again to Josh Allen. A lot of fun talking with Josh. Those Snickers sauces are good. Darcy was asking me, he's like, are those actually good? I'm like, yeah, shockingly good.
I need them.
Well, you think about it, peanut teriyaki, you have your traditional right there. Buffalo and, Buffalo and caramel, sweet and spicy. Then the barbecue sauce with chocolate is just like a dessert. It was good. 6:30 a.m. eating that last week with Josh Allen was a fun experience. Les Norman comes up next, talking Royals. Really looking forward to this conversation. Let's get his thoughts on the final 18-ish games of the season. WHB, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, joined now by Les Norman. Les, how you doing?
What's up, man? I feel like I'm watching like a transition scene. When I hear that music, I'm watching a transition scene in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah?
That music kind of just brings me back.
Can you do the
No.
Napoleon? You can do the dance.
I could. I will not. How's that?
We have some cameras in here. We could do this.
You're right.
We have
could.
the technology, Les.
I'd rather go to the parking lot and hit you fungos like we talked about than me do the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
We do need to do that.
Yes, that.
Parking lot's gonna be tough. I mean,
Well, we can. There's fields around. There.
I'd prefer a field.
Sure.
I don't want to get a rock in my, hit a rock and all. I'm not gonna wear a cup, Les.
I've replaced 4 windshields in the last 5 years. I don't want to risk that either. I've had enough of new windshields.
Have you your car specifically, or from you hitting fungo at people?
My
in
car
parking
specifically.
lots?
It's like I'm always behind the vehicle, and I don't follow like the trucks that you shouldn't follow. I'm not a close follower. I don't even follow semis right behind them because they can kick up rocks with big tires. But like a couple months ago, my wife was even driving. We're just cruising down. She does the speed limit, and a big old pickup truck came next to us with them big old knobby tires, and about 100 miles an hour, shot a rock and went from 2-inch crack to about 4-foot crack.
Did you chase the truck down?
No, there's nothing you can do about it. He didn't do anything wrong. Just driving.
Yeah.
There's not nobody. I mean, it's bad luck. I'm not complaining about anything. It's just bad luck. So let's not hit fungos around my car.
Okay. We'll consider. You don't trust my hands. Les Norman, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Les, Royals fell last night. It was a bludgeoning, and we talked about it a little bit in the first, but losing 10-2 is the exact same in the standings as losing or blowing a game 3-2 or 11-10. But there is a feel around it that you got no hit by a dude named Slade. I don't know his last name. It's Chicano. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna butcher it. I feel bad for you, Slade, because you pitched a great game. But you got 8 innings no hit by that guy in a tight playoff race. Ryan Bergert had his worst game of his major league career, by far the worst in a Royals uniform.
Bad timing.
That's gonna happen, right? But it's been that was the frustration. Almost was you never even had a chance.
Yeah. I remember thinking I was driving during the first inning, and Manzardo came up, and it seems like Manzardo has put a beat down on the Royals a little bit. I don't know exactly what the average is, but it seems like every time I'm paying attention to Manzardo up to bat, he's hitting a double, or he's getting a couple hits, or he's doing something to drive in a run, and I think his double brought the first run in, and I had to turn it off because I'd gone in somewhere else, and then I came back and checked the score, and it was in the 7th inning. It was 9-0, and then right away the very next pitch made it 10-0 on a ground out. I'm like, oh my gosh! And then I looked at the hit column. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, again! Like, what in the world happened? Who are they? Cy Young resurrected today? What in the world was going on? And Cleveland, just for some reason, always makes me uneasy when we play them. And you talk about throughout the year. We talk about, hey, every game's important, right? I mean, every game is important, of course, because it ends up in the end, but it brings back those games that should have won. Because right now, forget about the fact that it was, 10-2 was the final, right? And so you think about those games as being, you just got to write those off. Sometimes you're just going to get clobbered. You have bad days. You can't have those now. You can't.
You're correct with Kyle Manzardo, by the way. This year, in 9 games, 36 plate appearances, he's batting .393, on base at .528, slugging .786 for an OPS of 1,313.
Yeah.
7 strikeouts, 7 walks.
Royal killer.
Kyle Manzardo has become a Royal killer.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back after a game like that? How is it easy to wipe the slate, saying it's a new game, a long season, 162, these things happen? How do you wipe the slate, especially for these guys who are, again, in this wild card hunt, and now this team in Cleveland just passed you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's 18 games left, and so you better have a short memory. You have to let it go. It's not normal that you're going to get, no hit through 8 or with 2 or 3 hits total or something like that. The interesting thing was I think we had 3 walks, and Jensen had 2, and Cags had 1.
Yeah.
So the rookies were the ones that ended up walking, and they didn't get pitched around. So that tells maybe there's a little tension, so to speak, when it's a have to win. There's something about those rivals. There's something about those teams that seem to get the best of you even when they shouldn't. You were telling me before we came on the air about statistically, why would you not want to face this Cleveland lineup?
Yeah.
Manzardo notwithstanding, why wouldn't you want to face this Cleveland lineup?
They have about 3 dudes. Stephen Kwan, who's had a down year this year, right? Jose Ramirez
For him.
is still Jose Ramirez. So you have one player who's a very, very good. And then Manzardo. So you have about 3 guys in that lineup, and one of them in Kwan, who's, again, having a down year. But your number 2 hitter has an OPS of 682. Your number 5 hitter, and Nolan Jones, was jetsoned away from Colorado. Your number 6 hitter is batting 175. And it doesn't get better from there. I mean, it just always perplexes me how Cleveland is able to, in big-time moments, stick it to Kansas City, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a real thing when a player like Manzardo or a team like the Indians tend to own you a little bit, because statistically it shouldn't happen because nobody else does that to them, or they don't do it to anybody else, but it's just this weird thing. And so you have to be aware of it, that you maybe don't play well consistently, because you have to follow patterns. And sometimes it's just that team. I think it was a couple of years ago that, as bad as the White Sox were, the Royals couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
That was a few seasons ago. So it's just a weird thing. And again, it's not like, well, we're going to play better against Cleveland. No, you can't do that. You're going to play good against every team. But again, back to your initial question, you have to have a short memory. During the season, that's easier to do, because now every little thing matters. And again, if you're losing 10-2 and you get boat raced, okay, you got boat raced. So today, you go back and get them. The one thing you can't do is you put it one way. Oh, we have to have a short memory. You better have a short memory, because if you're going into today thinking, oh, we can't let that happen again, well, then you're still thinking about yesterday. It's those little thoughts. You literally have to erase it from your mind as much as humanly possible, then get after who you're facing.
What's difficult is if the Royals took 3 of 4 in this series, they then would have the season series over Cleveland, which might come into play as the playoffs come down to the wire. Mm-hmm. Now the Royals have to sweep the last 3 games of this series to take the season series. So there are some extra playoff implications, even more so than just the Mariners that sit ahead of them. Where do you land on Caglione and Carter Jensen as far as getting them into the lineup more? Because that was a huge issue on Sunday, where it's, all right, Luke Mailey's catching. You look at the outfield, Grichuk, who was facing a righties out there in the outfield, and you're sitting here going, why not Cags and why not Carter? They pinch hit in that game, and they both drew a walk. I understand the thought process of Cags has struggled. Carter has struggled. I get they're young, but Cags has been better since being called back up. They're liable to take a walk, and it's not like Luke Mailey or Randall Grichuk or anything special. That's kind of where my frustration lies, is if you had Freddie Fermin still on this team, I get that. You play Fermin over Carter Jensen as we get down the stretch, because you know he's also a great defensive catcher.
And he can hit.
Luke Mailey's not necessarily providing anything, in my opinion, that Carter Jensen cannot.
Right. And Carter Jensen's going to probably be a little more agile because he's not as big as Luke Mailey. I mean, he's just a big dude. Now, granted, he moves great for a big dude, but he's not going to be as athletic. I think Jensen probably has a stronger arm than Mailey does. So I remember turning the game on Sunday and thinking, okay, I know it's Sunday. I know Salvi needs those days off or DH or whatever it may be, but are we not in a playoff push?
Yes.
I mean, that there are no Sunday off days now. You have 18 games left, I think, as of right now.
Correct.
And so there are no more Sunday off day games.
Did it work when you were trying to save him for yesterday, for Monday?
No.
Did it work?
No, it didn't work. It doesn't work. You need to have your best out there. And
just because you give Salvi 2 extra days where he is playing instead of off days, it's not like you're going to shorten his career or you're risking more injuries. He's a big league player. If you ask Salvi, he wants to play every day.
Correct.
And so I feel like when you're in a playoff push and you have both Maley and, and again, if this were June and you're playing and Cags and Carter Jensen got called up and for whatever reason, and then they're playing more consistently and you're getting them into it, okay, fine, no problem. Because in June, they weren't sitting as close in the playoffs as they are right now. It was kind of a tough stretch. But now, okay, if you want to play maybe one of them or pinch hit one in a situation when you're losing or it's close or something like that because they can draw walks more, whatever it may be, yeah, that's fine. But I feel like you're heaping a little bit of extra pressure on them. I don't think the Royals are looking at it like, well, we're probably not going to make the playoffs. No, they're in it to make the playoffs. So why not continue with the combinations in the starting lineups that you've been using to put yourself in a position to be 3 games out with 18 left to go? And so just because they're up doesn't mean that you have to play them every single time. Now, again, 3 walks yesterday. It was Jensen and Cags that got the walks, and that's great.
Who had the 2 RBIs?
Yeah,
it was
and Cags got the 2 RBIs. So yeah. But again, I mean, I just feel like at least in the case of Salvi, I know it's Sunday. There aren't enough games left to long-term stretch this thing out. It's now, and then Salvi needs to be in there.
Yeah, and then of course you have 2 lefties coming up tonight and tomorrow, so Grichuk's going to be in there, and you're going to have to probably sit Massey, Frazier, or Cags. Yastrzemski probably more than likely because Yaz just has really struggled versus lefties throughout his entire career, especially this year. So I didn't understand the thought process of Grichuk being in there when he has 2 lefties he's going to face, which is his role on the team in the next couple days.
Yeah,
I get trying to make sure he has at-bats and stays fresh, but you got 8 at-bats coming from or 6 at-bats coming for him in the next couple days. Seemed a little, again, I'm not trying to be a whole blame Q guy, because I think that can be a foolhardy endeavor because a lot of times it's on the players to come through in certain moments, especially bullpen decisions, right? But that was the one that really has stuck with me. Overall, how do you view Q has done in this playoff hunt? Obviously, last year they made the playoffs, but they did falter down the stretch. And they, I don't want to say backed in because they didn't back in because they gave themselves enough leeway to get in, even with the collapse down the stretch. If this continues on, that would be back-to-back semi-disappointing ends to regular seasons at least. I mean, it didn't affect them in the playoffs. They beat the Orioles, and they gave the Yankees all they could handle, but I think the point still remains there.
Yeah, it does. I don't look at it like Q's making the wrong decisions if you stretch the whole season out. I look at it like the Royals were so bad a year ago offensively, and yet he managed them somehow into the playoffs. Now, again, they got to swing the bat. They got to throw the ball. They got to pitch. They got to do the things that they need to do. So it's not just him. It's the players have to perform. But again, when you have one of the worst, I think there was a spot last year where the Royals' offense in runs per game was the worst in Royals history. I mean, since 1969, there was that stretch. So for him to manage and be able to get to that point, for the team to be able to get to that point, you need to give Q some credit there. And so as we sit here and talk about, well, yesterday, why wasn't Salvi in? Why were lefties here? It's easy for us to do that. I don't put that on Q. I don't think that it's wrong for us to say, okay, let's question that a little bit. What were you thinking there? It's not the reason that they lost because there were enough guys in there that do play every day that also didn't get hits, that also didn't come through, that also didn't hit a home run or whatever it may be. So this is not, I don't think, a manager thing. In and of itself, that particular question, yes, what was the lineup all about? But I still think that even though they had bad runs this year, and in June, they weren't looking awesome, and we were thinking, oh, man, they went from the playoffs, and now we're not going to make the playoffs, and they have the players that are good enough, and in June, when they weren't playing good enough, we are still talking about 18 games left and a team that has a chance to get to the playoffs. So I'm not negative on the managerial job that Q has done. I think he's done a fantastic job over these 2 years. Isolated questions here and there, but again, he's managed them into a position to get into the playoffs, and so I'm still good with how he's been running it.
Way to bring some nuance in here. Less nuanced Norman. That's his go-to. Yeah, because I did this situation where if you would have told us to start the season that Bobby's going to have a down year for Bobby, right? Still incredible, but a down year for Bobby.
That'll get a lot of guys some serious contract extensions.
Correct. Salvador Perez is going to be okay, but he's going to be real bad for the majority of the season. I mean,
Right.
real bad for the majority of it. Cags comes up, does nothing for when he originally came up. Michael Massey injured for the majority of the season and not played well. You're going to have injuries to Chris Bubich. Cole Reagans is going to not pitch well and get injured. I mean, you look at the plethora of things that have transpired that I think if you would have said, well, what's the record? You'd have been like, oh, I don't know, 15 games under 500. And they're still 73 and 71. It's very easy for isolated incidents to say, all right, I'm upset now. It's the manager's fault. That comes with the gig, by the way, though. That does come with the
He
paycheck.
knows that.
It comes
They
with
all
the
know that.
paycheck, right? But I think overall I've been mostly content to happy with the job he has done. A playoff appearance and decent showing last year. Above 500 with the amount of injuries, the amount of instability that has transpired this season. Overall, I think Q has done an above-average job. I do think he falls in love with the lefty, righty, even more so than the underlying numbers say.
Sure.
Because Nick Lofton, for example, has reverse splits, yet you're always going to see him in there versus a lefty. Well, why? He has reverse splits. They're even worse than Adam Frazier. So why is he in over Adam Frazier?
Right.
Frazier's been hot. Had been hot.
And that's something that I would question Q on. I mean, so again, I think he's doing a great job, but to me that doesn't make sense.
Correct.
So it's okay to question that. It is.
And no one's perfect. And I think at times when he always goes to the lefty bullpen pitchers, I'm like, they're not good though. You're right. I trust Taylor Clark, or at the time it would be Steven Cruz over Sam Long or Daniel Lynch. Yet they're going to the lefty. I'm like, just go with the better pitcher. Go with the guy who you know is the better pitcher. Those are some of the instances where I have my biggest qualms with Q. But overall, I'm with you. I think some nuance is needed, and he's done a pretty darn good job over the past two seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, when the hitters aren't hitting, who gets blamed? The hitting coach. I mean, I think the hitting coach is like one of the most fired positions in baseball, isn't it? I mean, it pretty much has to be. That's the first one to go.
It's that, and it's the same thing with football. It's the offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's just it comes with the nature of you want to be a manager, you want to be a head coach, you got to take this position first.
Yeah.
And if you're great, congrats, you might get a good opportunity. If you don't do well, you're fired. You got to start from scratch again somewhere else.
Man, I've known guys that the team went to the playoffs and they had a batting champion, and the hitting coach got fired anyway, because oftentimes the players have influence.
Yeah.
You know, they have influence. So, yeah, bottom line is players need to do their job. But again, you're right. You know, you're going to be the manager, and by the way, you can't be emotional and you can't be defensive and you can't wear your emotions on your sleeve, and you can't be the guy that's going to try to please everybody all the time, and you're going to have to be in the media every day, and then the guy still says, "Okay, I'm in. Let's go."
Yeah.
You know, so you got to give him a little bit of credit for that, because it does take a tough human being to be able to fit into all those categories.
So, to me, Caglione has looked really good, more comfortable, I should say, at the plate. His past couple games and appearances, you've seen the 13-pitch walk. You've seen, obviously, the walk and the RBI, 2 RBI single last night. You're seeing Carter Jensen, very small sample size, but getting on base at a 417 clip. I'm impressed if this is what is going down in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
If you're starting to see more longer at-bats, better eyes. I don't know if you can really teach vision. I think that's one of those things that a lot of people
You can work on it.
You can work on. I think a lot are naturally born with the
Yes.
elite vision. You can work on maybe some swing decisions, how to recognize, but some guys are just born with the innate ability of that's outside. I see the spin. I know what it's going to do. But I guess that has me a little enthusiastic a little bit, that Cags looks like he's taking better at bats, but Jensen, a great walk rate, just that has me enthusiastic about the minor leagues in general as far as the development going on down there.
It does. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, and it could be next year, or in 3 years, or 5 years. You could challenge me on this, but I'm going to throw this controversial statement out there.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, Carter Jensen will have better overall big league numbers than Jack Caglione will.
I
I'll
think
wait.
I'll believe with you.
You're in it too?
I think he has a better consistent hit tool. Like
Okay.
I think Cags has the better power. I think he has the better raw power.
Naturally, he does, but it won't show, I feel like, as much as Carter Jensen's will.
Which is interesting because you look at Carter Jensen, what he did in the minors, and it was insanely impressive. And you're right, even it almost feels like it's because where Cags was drafted compared to Carter Jensen, it's the draft. It's like when a guy's drafted first overall versus Brock Purdy. Well, a little extreme here, obviously, but you use that bias of where they were drafted because of the perception, maybe, and that clouds your judgment. And how long does it take for that to go away? Sometimes never.
Right. So, but as I'm watching Carter Jensen, and this isn't surprising because when you watch guys that get to the big leagues the first time, the camera's always on their family, right? Their parents, and dad's crying or mom's crying and sister's there and girlfriend's there and cousins there, and everybody's all excited and jumping up and down. And how many times did the camera be on Carter Jensen's family and they're just chilling, just watching, just chilling? And that's how I see Carter Jensen's approaches. The way he takes pitches, even if it's a close pitch, he doesn't almost swing at it and jerk his body. His hands don't drift forward. There's a calmness, even in an at-bat where he might strike out or ground out weakly or something like that. There's a calmness and a big league vibe to the way his approach is. And I think over time, guys that do that, it's like watching Michael Garcia. It looks like every time Michael Garcia comes to the plate, you just had to wake him up from a nap. Like he was in the clubhouse taking a quick 10-minute power nap with an alarm. Like, oh, hey, you got to go hit. All right, whatever. Let's go hit and do his thing. It's like when he plays defense, he's the same way. There's a calmness to them. Big situations don't get them big emotionally. They stay right where they are. And I feel like I was watching even Jack lead off the other day, and he wasn't stealing. He was just getting into his secondary lead because the pitcher, it'll show the pitcher from the third base side with the runner in the background, right? And they kind of got that one shot right there. And he was doing the kind of this weird move with his body, like he was trying to be, I am going to be mechanically correct in my secondary lead right now. Watch how many steps. It's like this robotic kind of thing, like he was jerking his body and moving his body with this weird flow. I'm like, okay, what is he doing right there? You're in the big leagues. Just work on it, but stay relaxed. And I know that Jack has this really big, massive body, but it is so athletic. But it's almost like as he tries to make these corrections right now, he's kind of going through this phase of, I have to do A and then B and then C, where you still also have to be athletic. And it has to be more of a natural flow and feel to it. Well, I just don't see Carter Jensen doing that. Now, right now, you Jack Caglione fans right now that are cursing me under your breath or maybe out loud right now, I still believe that Jack's going to have an amazing big league career. I think he's going to play a long time. I think he's going to do great things. He's going to have great home run and RBI totals. I also think that he's going to be a 300 hitter. He's going to be great. I just think in the long term, I get a sense early on that Carter Jensen's going to be a very mature, early, long hitting machine, so to speak. Just if you stretch the whole thing out, I just think he's going to be a little bit better because he has a more calm, relaxed approach.
I like it. We'll take a break. Les Norman is our guest, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. We'll come back. More Royals talk coming your way. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. disappointed by the Royals. But I'm also not, okay? Because here are the positives.
Are you fighting inside wars?
I am, because I don't like being the moral victory guy. But yet, I'm going to do it. I will power through and do this.
I've taught you well, young Skywalker.
Just the positivity is just going to reign true right now. And part of that is because this pitching staff, what they've done, the development in the minors, the translation to the majors, and I know yesterday's not a great example because Ryan Bergert got shelled. But you've seen Ryan Bergert be extremely successful. You've seen Chris Bubich come back from injury, injured again now, look really good. You've seen him change and fix Aroldis Chapman to now what he's doing in Boston. You've seen him fix and change Cole Reagans. You've seen just a plethora of pitchers come up and find success, whether it's Noah Cameron, who forced his way onto the starting five. You've seen Stephen Kolek be a guy, just a guy in San Diego and look pretty darn good so far for KC. And so this is where I think I am the most excited moving forward is when you have the pitching foundation, you very rarely have a season where the bottom just falls out. When you have the pitching foundation that the Royals possess that allows you to go spend money on bats and spend money on bullpen arms and spend money elsewhere, because this is what Tampa Bay has done. This is what Cleveland has done. This is what Milwaukee has done for a long time. They just develop pitching so you always have a floor and you can trade some of those guys, flip them for young, controllable bats. I think this is why I'm excited even in a season that's been a disappointment.
So, disappointment, yes, based on what they
preconceived
ideas. But again, oftentimes it's not so much. So if there's a disappointment, and say 18 games from now they are in the playoffs and they sneak their way in, then what's your level of joy that they're in the playoffs? What does that disappointment turn into? Because oftentimes when a team is good and they play good all year, yes, it's great and all that, and it's fun, and yeah, we're in the playoffs and we got a shot at the World Series. That's great. And then when they,
I like that.
Yeah, but that'd be awesome. But then if they lose in the playoffs, then there's a bigger, heavier letdown. Whereas over this whole season, underperforming, and yet we're still talking about the playoffs with these couple of weeks left. And so I'm with you on the disappointment side. I just feel like, it's always like I keep hearing the Jim Carrey line. So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, there just is, because when I'm ready to say, okay, well, that's probably the nail in the coffin, then the Mariners lose a couple games, and the Rangers lose a couple games, and then they end up beating Cleveland, hopefully, for a couple games. And so, I mean, your disappointment in a lot of things, yes. But I'm trying to, in my old man age, my grandpa-ish age, trying to get to the point where I want to have a shorter memory and just keep moving forward on this. So I'm disappointed in a lot of things, but I am not going to keep dragging that chain on my back until they're officially eliminated, because anything can still happen. So I'm going to keep riding that train.
And that's, again, kind of why I've been – you look at Chris Bubich, had a 2.55 ERA this year. Noah Cameron, 3.03 ERA this year in 20 starts. And for a guy
that's incredible, by the way.
Very
for a guy that had no plan to be in this rotation. For the Royals to not have a plan.
Ryan Bergert, after giving up 8 runs, is at a 4.17. After giving up 8 runs in 3+ innings. Jonathan Bolin has had a 3.57 ERA. Stephen Kolek with a 2.08, only 2 starts, but 13 innings, right? Bailey Falter was not, but he's also a older pitcher. There wasn't necessarily a developmental aspect to that one.
Right. And not like that signing didn't bring a whole lot of excitement to Kansas City.
Correct. Luinder Avila, he has a 1.8 ERA and looks absolutely filthy as a back-end bullpen piece. And again, this is why I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because of all those guys, they're all, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, young-ish, controllable guys that the Royals will have for a long time. And that keeps you from going out and paying $7 or $8 million for the Mike Lorenzens of the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. This is not a knock on Lorenzen, and there's always going to be a need for 4 and 5 starters in Major League Baseball. But when you can keep them in-house and you can develop that talent and you can save $8 to $10 to $12 million a year on those guys, well, now that money can be used elsewhere. They can be used on a bat. They can be used to be coupled up for a big-time player, right? And that's why I think the Royals are in a, again, not even this year included, just going forward, are in a relatively good spot. You get Cole Reagans back. You get Chris Bubic back. You have now Noah Cameron. You can trade maybe one, or now you just have a lot of pitching depth. No longer do you have to pay Michael Lorenzen. You can let him walk. The Royals, I think, are in a good spot going forward.
I think they are. The perfect storm, so to speak, in a good way, of Eric Hosmer, Moustakas, Salvi, and then the addition of the trade of getting Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah.
And then getting the pitching that they had, right? Which the HDH and all that. I mean, all those perfect storms came together at the right time. The problem with that, the greatness of that 2015 World Series win has now spoiled us 10 years later, because you get these young guys like Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny, and then Salvi, now part of the next generation. He was then, and he's a part of that now. And then Bubic, and then you sign Reagans, and even though he's hurt, it's that gift that can keep on giving if he gets healthy. And then adding, not the HDH, but you're adding now Waka and Lugo. It's kind of a similar type of formula, and now we're spoiled because, well, it worked then. Why, it's got to work right now, right? I mean, it just doesn't always work that way, but it leaves you in it all the time. And I won't repeat the point that you just made, but you're absolutely right that there's so many great things here that if sometimes you do have to catch lightning in a bottle, but you can't catch lightning in a bottle if you don't have a bottle and you don't go outside during a thunderstorm, right? I mean, you got to catch it. And right now, the pieces are in place to catch that lightning in a bottle again.
Do you think someone actually caught lightning in a bottle?
I think
do you think
maybe Ben Franklin.
lightning in a bottle, did it happen?
No, I don't think it. Well, if it happened to somebody, it probably only happened once.
Let's see. It did not literally happen in the sense of capturing a. By the way, it was Ben Franklin who had this real. We knew about the kite, but that's actually where it came from.
Yeah.
So, I was always wondering where do idioms come from? Someone had to be the first person to make the idiom happen.
Right.
So now we know. This is a smart show, Les. And
we will educate if you let us.
And then speaking of smart shows, what do you have coming up on Breaking the Norm?
This is an exciting time. So it's amazing to me that every time I see this guy, there's no way he just turned 70 years old, because I watch him stretch and throw BP and hit fungos and all that. But Willie Wilson is coming on the show.
Wow.
Royals Hall of Famer. Did you know that in 1980, he led the league in plate appearances, at-bats, triples, hit 326, just had 230 hits.
Wow.
Won a Silver Slugger and a Gold Glove that year, and was not an All-Star in 1980.
That's insane.
All of that, he was only in 19 years. Willie Wilson was only an All-Star twice, in 82 and 83, and he had those stats I just read off in 80 and was not an All-Star.
It's absurd.
What in the wide world of sports were they thinking
Absurd.
back then? It's crazy.
I hope you bring that up.
I'm going to lead with that because I want to give him a chance to say, yeah, man, you're right. I should have. In 19 years, you can tell me Willie Wilson, he should have been an All-Star more than 2. But regardless of that, one of the greatest outfielders I ever had the incredible honor of watching play this game. And he's also an incredible dude. He really is. All these years, I mean, people love him. I did an appearance with him and Tom Bergmeyer at the Edward Jones tent out at the stadium last week. And they liked having our autograph. They liked having Bergie's autograph. Everybody wanted and got pictures and selfies and autographs from Willie Wilson, man. He was the star of the show, and I can't believe he's 70.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone check out Break the Norm with Les Norman. Again, presented by TruckMovers.com and First Federal Bank of Kansas City. Les, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure to be with you, buddy.
Maybe Jason will be back next week. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll keep you on your toes here, Les.
We could feed him some probiotics or something and just get him healthy.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Lebo joins at 1 The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Lebo joins at 1. Probably play a little fact or fiction. We might need someone else to come in here and take that final spot. We'll see. This was a fun from Curtis Looper, Coach Loop, the Mizzou assistant coach, running backs coach. He put up the Power 4 records since 2023. Since 2023, Darcy, where do you think Missouri ranks of all teams? Power 4 record.
I'll say top 20. I'll say not top 15, but top 20.
Fourth.
Wow.
23-5.
I was way off.
23-5. Since 2023, Oregon 1, 27-3. Ohio State 2, 27-4. Georgia 3rd, 26-4. Missouri tied with Ole Miss, 23-5. Ahead of Texas, Penn State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee.
Is this a way for you to rub that KU loss in again?
No, KU should be thrilled. They hung with the team that's fourth since 2023. I didn't even mention KU.
No. Moral victories, you have to take them when you're KU because you have been, in the basement for so long. But Jack mentioned it yesterday. The same issues against every single opponent in a big game. Jalen Daniels' fumble on that play, that's not the first time he's done that. He did it against K-State last year. And it's just like, we hung in with Missouri, but you'd like to be at a point where you could actually win these games.
I'm just saying. Mizzou, look at that record, baby.
Makes me sick.
Just saying. Just pointing it out. Darcy's all I'm doing. All right, biggest takeaways from the NFL Week 1. Do you know, Darcy, who the top 2-point differential teams are in the NFL after Week 1?
I do not.
You can take a little guess? It's very fun.
Oh, man. I don't really remember a lot of the scores outside of that Sunday Night Football game and then, obviously, the Chiefs score. I'm going to take a wild guess and say, oh, man. We'll say, just a dumb guess. We'll say Eagles.
Colts, number 1, obviously after beating Miami. Number 2, Jacksonville. Like we all thought, 2 teams in the AFC South, best point differentials. Now I know Week 1 who they played, but Colts look good. Jags look solid. Week 1's always hilarious because you have no idea what to expect. But the Bengals finally won a Week 1 playoff game. Now it was over the Browns. The Bengals should have lost. Browns kicker can't make kicks. Point remains, Bengals 1-0. I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways was how good the Steelers looked. I think that was surprising with Aaron Rodgers, how good they looked. The Jets, even in that loss, I think looked good because I think we all expect the Steelers' defense to be really darn good. Justin Fields looked solid. Solid. That, to me, was a little surprising. Tennessee, I think, is not a good team, but Cam Ward impressed a little bit. I didn't have extremely high expectations for Cam. The final numbers aren't great. Some ridiculously big drops by Calvin Ridley, especially a massive one late in that game. I think Denver, to me, was... If you're a Denver fan, that should be your concern all year long. That the defense is great. The Denver defense is going to be one of the best in the NFL. But offensively, yikes. I just don't think they have the guys, the horsepower. I think that Bo Nix was overvalued coming into this season. I feel like it went too far the other way with the rubber band effect. So I think those were some of my big takeaways from Week 1 of Denver might not be quite as good because I think their offense is going to hold them back.
I don't know if Denver is going to have these issues long term. I do think there is something to the whole sophomore slump with Bo Nix. My biggest takeaway from this weekend actually came Sunday night because, after that Chiefs game, I wanted to see what Baltimore and Buffalo look like. And yeah, their offenses are insane, and that does scare me from a Chiefs defensive perspective. But at the same time, both teams scored 40 points. And that makes me feel a little bit better knowing that, okay, as long as Patrick Mahomes goes out there and they've got a solid game plan, you can put up points on both of those defenses. Can your defense stop Buffalo and Baltimore? That's the question.
I think it's a very good point as well. Also, the Raiders. I thought they looked pretty good. This was kind of my offseason take that the Raiders will be better than other people might believe they are. But Geno Smith, they have an adult in the room. Pete Carroll, an adult's adult.
Grandpa.
Could be the adult of an adult of an adult, but damn good shape. Still a great head coach, in my opinion. And Geno Smith is, again, one of the most underrated quarterbacks probably over the last 6-ish, 5-ish years or so. And you now have, again, an adult in the room. They're doing things the right way in Vegas. Brock Bowers went out of that game with a knee injury, but it sounds like he was going to be good to go for his upcoming week. It was more precautionary more than anything else. Jacoby Myers had himself a nice game, and obviously Ashton Genty as well.
Would you say that Brock Bowers is day-to-day?
I would say that Brock Bowers is legitimate day-to-day. Not Andy's day-to-day.
Good clarification, because there's a lot of people picking up and running with that, Xavier Worthy's day-to-day, he'll be able to play next. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not day-to-day the injury. That's, I think, day-to-day how they're taking the injury. Yeah, I want to see more of the zone. Darcy, I want to see more of it. No, you're fine. I like doing this. I got to give you a hard time at least a little bit here. Todd Lebo is going to join us in just a moment. We will come back, take a break right here. Sports Radio 810 WHB. Is this a new intro?
Brand new.
Brand new?
Michael just put that together.
Oh, nice. I like that. Good job. Brand new.
Brand new. I saw Dylan last week.
Where at?
Yeah, he came by the Meet Mitch remote.
Oh, really?
He was having dinner. His dad and Sandy and some of our old advertiser guys, good guys, are out there.
What a good dude. He's wanted to
Steve
see
Hahn.
you.
Yeah. I said, you want to register to win?
What, did he sign up?
I said, you can't register to win because he still kind of works here, right? Because
Well,
he does
the
post-game and
Chiefs.
stuff like that.
Technicality.
Technicality, he was not eligible to win.
I think he should be.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know Spinal Tap 2 is coming
This
out?
weekend? Right.
Yeah, it's coming out the next few days.
Yeah, I think it's Thursday or something.
Do you want to go
I do want to
together?
see that movie, I think, but it's just not going to be.
Have you seen the ad though for
I
it?
have seen part of it. I don't want to watch a whole ad because I don't want to
Spoil.
because generally when you watch a trailer,
The best
anymore,
parts are in it.
ruins a lot of things unless it's one of those ones that they can't put some of the things in the trailer.
It looked
They look
really
old.
good.
It's funny. I'm
That's
sure
the
it's funny.
point. But the
They're
point
really
is
old.
they're supposed to look old.
And they are old
Because
that movie's 40 years old.
it's 41.
Yeah.
The reason why I find it able to work, if it does work, like Happy Gilmore 2 didn't work.
It was.
It was bad. I laughed, but it was bad.
But
You
have
laugh
to-
because
also-
of nostalgia.
You also have to remember that Happy Gilmore 1 wasn't a great movie.
It was
just
a phenomenal
It was just
program.
fun.
It was a great film.
fun.
Historically important film, Happy Gilmore 1. Happy Gilmore 2 was not. My point here is it can work because a lot of the bands that you and I like,
They're just like this.
this is just like this.
This is just like
Kiss would still get up on stage in spandex at 70
Yes.
years old.
Yes.
This is why I do think Spinal Tap 2 could actually work really well.
Yeah. They're funny people, so it could be very funny.
And they're still looking for a drummer.
It's hard to keep a drummer.
Look, they've gone through at least 11 of them. I mean, just
Eric Stumpy Joe died in a bizarre gardening accident or whatever, right? We used to have a lot of drops whenever we played from that.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a funny movie. I think it comes out. I'm going to be gone this weekend.
You want to go together?
Why aren't we doing a movie premiere for that?
This is what I want to see. Yeah,
We should be doing that.
Chad, hey, Mr. Boss Man.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get a movie
Spinal
premiere
Tap
of
2?
Spinal Tap 2? Please, Lebo and I would go.
I made my wife go to a movie a couple weeks ago, and it was during the week. She was very mad because we went and watched the Naked Gun movie.
How was that?
It was funny, and it was, a little bit nostalgic, but I love those jokes.
Yeah.
Those just silly jokes, the kind of dad joke things.
The Shirley, you can't be serious.
Stop
I
calling
am.
me Shirley.
And don't call me Shirley.
Yeah. We laughed. I laughed a lot. It was funny. There was some just dumb things in it, everything. But it started at like 6:30,
Sure.
and we didn't get home till, it was like 9ish, and she was like, it's too late. It was 2 minutes from our house. I'm like, so maybe during the week movies are no good anymore. I don't know.
That's when you know you're getting old. You get home at 9.
It's too late.
Too late.
Too late during the
So,
week.
Will you share a popcorn with me and watch Spinal Tap 2?
Yeah, I
Lebo?
would share popcorn, sure.
Okay.
Because I don't want a whole
wanna-
popcorn.
Yeah, I don't want a full one.
I don't
It's too expensive. I'm not.
money's no object. It's just I don't need all the calories.
Money's no object for you.
Money's no object.
Okay.
No big deal.
We could sneak in a few of these Bud Lights.
Yeah,
You want to?
I've done that before.
A time or two.
Maybe in college.
What you do is you get like a big styrofoam cup, and you put the beer in the bottom of the styrofoam cup,
Ah,
and you put ice around it.
it's
and
a
then-
cooler.
And then you put your straw into the can.
Perfect.
You can go anywhere you want, allegedly doing that.
Yeah.
Sterling does this at work.
Yeah. Well, we do have beer right here at the.
Yeah, I'm not hiding it.
No,
I've
it's
only
out
got a
here.
Cutwater, Bud Light, and Neutrals just right in front of my face.
It's how we do.
It's how we do. It's
It's how we
that's
do.
radio, baby.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, baby.
It's how it works.
So yeah, I can't wait for
I'll watch it.
First
I don't know if
Spinal
I'll get to the movies or not. I don't know. I'll see it at some point, somewhere. It gets busy this time of year. There's college football games on Saturdays and pro football games on Sundays.
We'll start there with college football. What was your big takeaway from? We haven't talked yet about the border war. Obviously, Missouri comes away with an 11-point victory, but it felt closer than that. That
for
you
sure.
look at the box score, and
Yeah.
maybe it shouldn't have been as close as 11.
The box score says it should be a lot more lopsided, but you watch the game, it's like, a play or two here. The fumble for the touchdown was a monstrous play. So you can't take that away. And you can't just say if you're a Kansas fan, well, what if they would have caught these 3 passes? It would have been a lot closer then. But you needed the fumble Ruski, the pickup, scoop, and score to get it that way. I thought Kansas battled very hard in the game. I thought Missouri showed a lot of composure to be down like that at home. Against Kansas is a quality team. I think Kansas is an upper-level team in the Big 12, and Missouri came back and won the game. So you got to give them all credit. I thought it was great. I think these games are fantastic. I hope they play every year. I know they probably won't. We were talking about this the other day on New Day. If you watch college football all day Saturday, the best games that you saw were the games that were non-con real games.
Yeah.
The Cyhawk game was maybe a little low scoring but thrilling.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is fantastic. Iowa State won with a field goal at the very end.
Baylor
SMU. Now
game.
SMU is not a Power 5, but well, no, they are. They're at the Atlantic ACC now. That's right. So that's a Power 5 game. The Arizona State at Mississippi State late night game was a good game. Obviously, the border war, the Michigan at Oklahoma game was a great scene and a good game at night. And we get so many of these. Mick's not here. We talked briefly about Oklahoma State in the break yesterday, but that was one of those games that was supposed to be one of those non-con games. It did not go well, but a lot of those games, the other games were, Grambling going to Ohio State or whatever. And
Florida was great.
Yeah, but
USF, sorry.
That's a real team. That's not an FCS.
Sure, agreed.
I mean, they were in one of the leagues that was a league, and then that league's gone now. Yeah. But so that's a legitimate thing. But most of the games were boring. The good games were the ones that were the real teams playing each other. So I hope Kansas and Missouri play each other. I hope they do that. I don't know if they will. It's hard. The SEC is going to have a 9-game league schedule.
Sure.
Starting next year. They are charged with playing a quality opponent in one of their games. Okay. Will Missouri want that much heat on that game? I don't know.
They should.
I think they should.
I think it's good for business too.
It's great for business.
I think it's great for your program. It's great for the fans.
And you can
alumni.
afford to lose a game. If there's 12 teams in the playoff, you can afford to lose a game.
Yeah.
I
think this is one that needs to be every single year.
I hope so.
And I know they have next year, then a hiatus, and then they're back again in the 30s. But
it takes a while to get these schedules worked out. And listen, who knows what the SEC and the Big 12 will be in the 30s. It could be some other leagues. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Because we've seen a lot of these. I remember when the Oklahoma-Michigan game got put on the schedule 10 years ago. The stat that they gave on the telecast was Michigan had never played a game on an SEC campus in the history of Michigan football. But when they scheduled the game with Oklahoma, that was a Big 12 team. They weren't planning on going to an SEC team, and then the team ended up going to the SEC. So we need more Big 10 teams playing on SEC campuses. And I'm not saying anything bad about Michigan. The reason that Michigan hasn't been on an SEC campus is because no one would go play at their place, right?
Sure.
It's a two-way street. Why these teams don't, and I get why they used to not do it because it was a poll.
If you lose one game,
you're probably toast. Maybe not, but probably toast if you lose a game. But now with the college football playoff being at 12 and probably going to go up, it'll never go down. That you should play more of these games. You absolutely should. The best memories I have of watching my team play games when it wasn't a league game, it wasn't when they were playing Temple, who they're playing this weekend, but it was like they had a home and home. They had a home and home with Tennessee. I went down there and watched the Tennessee game at home. It was awesome. They had a home and home with Notre Dame. It was great. They did a home and home with Oregon. You got to do those things. It's fun because the people if you want to get your fan base excited to go watch a game, sure they want to see your team win, but you don't want to see them win by 70 points against someone you've never heard of. You want to see the real games. It's the same type of thing, Kansas basketball, it's been fun. They've gotten some teams to come into the Fieldhouse the last few years, right? UConn was there, North Carolina, there's some things like that. Those are way more fun than bringing in fill in the blank.
Central Arkansas. Not a shot on them, but I don't care about going to Faurot to watch Central Arkansas. KU, I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
this is way more enjoyable.
It's very great for the kids who are playing in the games. It's great for the kids who are at school,
Yes.
on campus. It's so much more fun. This Saturday, which you watched, like I watched basically every snap of the Cyhawk game, KUMU game, and the Michigan-Oklahoma game because they were all on.
It was nice.
It was nice.
lovely.
They just kind of sit around. My wife's like, "This is what you do all day." I said, "This is what I'm going to do all day.
This is work.
It was just what I wanted to do today." That was great stuff. And you click around, everything's on now. You turn on some other game, you're like, you can't watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want eyeballs, you want people to watch it. Make real games. And I thought Kansas-Missouri was great. I thought Missouri deserves all the credit in the world for coming from the deficit they were in. You know, you could roll over there, but Prbula showed a lot of guts, and that was big for them because they have 6 games at home to start.
Yeah.
You don't win that one. I mean, they're going to be fine this week and all that stuff, but you can't have that one hang over your head. And Kansas, in my mind, they ought to be able to shake this thing off. Listen, they went to an SEC team, a rival. They battled. They fought it right to the end, and this is not some bad mark on their name. So they ought to be just fine from it. So I think it was a really win-win situation. Listen, it would have been a bad deal if Missouri lost. You lose at home, then it feels a little bit different for them.
How do you view these two teams going forward? For me, Bo Prbula looked incredible. Ahmad Hardy looks, I want him on the Chiefs. I think he'd be a nice.
Their running backs were really good, both of them, really.
Roberts, their wide receiving core looks outstanding. This number 3 might be even better than the number 3 of last year.
And their defensive front really got themselves going eventually and really stifled Kansas. But listen, you have to have that in the SEC. You have to have a defense that can dominate the line of scrimmage. They still have some work to do on the offensive line. I thought Caden Green played much better this week. He's going to have to do it over and over again. He's moved schools. He's moved positions.
What school did he come from?
He came from Oklahoma.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was. He was there.
I was being a smartass. Sorry.
I get it. I mean, listen, I've said this a dozen times in the last 2 years. I don't care as much about college football as I used to because the kids don't care about the schools as much as they used to. So if you're going to come to a school and you're going to go to some other school, okay. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about Caden Green. He got a little bit more money to come closer to home. That's fine.
Sure.
You know, good. I can't be mad at anyone for that. It just means that I don't care as much about college sports as I used to. I still care, but it's not like I used to. There used to be a thing like I've said this. The way I think about it is, all right. So you love the Chiefs because you grew up in Kansas City. You love the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. So you like Derek Thomas because you watched Derek Thomas, but Derek Thomas didn't choose to be a Chief. He got drafted by the Chiefs.
Sure.
Okay. But you like. Who was your favorite player when you were a little kid at Missouri?
Oh, a lot. Ricky Paulding.
So Ricky Paulding,
Arthur Johnson.
When you were in
Jimmy
school,
McKinney.
who was there when you were in school?
Oh,
Blaine Gabbert there, or he had just
no,
left?
he had left from that old. We had James Franklin.
Sorry, James
Matty
Franklin.
Mock.
James Franklin chose to go to Missouri.
Yeah, I love James Franklin.
Just like you chose to go to Missouri.
Yeah.
So you had that in common, right? And you stayed there, and then he didn't leave and go somewhere else.
No.
So like I always thought, hey, listen, this person has something in common with me. They chose to go to the same place that I chose to go to school, and I like that. And now, if they choose to go there, that's great. If they choose to leave, all right then, whatever. I don't care about
Not
you.
a true son.
Yeah, you're not. And if someone has been somewhere else and then they choose to go there, I like that, but I don't like it quite as much as if they'd chosen to go there from the very beginning. But you're going to have a really hard time finding someone who's going to go to a school and be there for 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it is going to be tough. And that's not just quarterback position. That's everything. I turn the TV on, and I'm clicking around, and I see these names like, get on the phone. Who was that guy? Oh, he played at this. I remember that guy. He played at this school, or he played at that school. It's okay. So I'm not mad at Caden Green, but they're going to have their offensive line is going to have to play really well if they want to get to where they think they can go in the SEC, because they're going to face defensive fronts in the SEC that are good. That is where it just means more, whatever. The defensive fronts are big time in the SEC. You're still seeing that. And I know the SEC hasn't won the last 2 national titles or whatever. Look at the draft. They're still getting big-time defensive players who are at the point of attack getting drafted over and over and over. So Missouri will be all right. You know, Bo had the fumble. There's bad play, but it happens. You get the helmet on the ball, it's going to happen. He's going to get hit a lot if he runs, but I thought he threw the ball really well.
Very
well.
well.
You're throwing to really good players. And I thought Jalen Daniels was let down a little bit by his receivers, had a couple of drops. You know, they'll have better days. It was a big moment for them, too. They'll have better days. But I think they're going to be – I think they have enough to be in the hunt in the Big 12 because it's going to be all year on that. We saw how it came down last year. It was tiebreakers, and the last week we had all the scenarios worked out. It's going to be like that again, I think.
When it comes to K-State, where do they go? I still like Kleiman, but you lose to Iowa State, a team that you cannot get over the hump over the past few seasons with, right? You barely beat a Dakota, but not the good Dakota.
Yeah, that's Dakota. They're all fine.
It's
not the one that's won a bunch of national titles.
You won by 3, and you had to come back.
Had to come behind,
And then you lose to Army. I understand it's unique. I get the time of possession stuff.
You got to win the game,
you got to
though.
get off the field. They lost to Tarleton State, man. Like, I don't know.
Well, they got their hands full this week because they're going on the road Friday night, Arizona, and it's non-con. Arizona.
Yes, non-con.
You know, so they don't have time. Like Kansas, I think maybe Coach Leipold would like to get back on the field this week because they lost. They get it, but this is not a bad time for them to have their break. They're off this week. They've got West Virginia at home next week. Kansas State flew to Ireland, came home, played a game, then brought in a unique team like Army, and now they're going on a short week to play a Power 5 non-con game. Their schedule stinks for what coaches would love to build in the traditional way. You'd like to not start with a league game.
Sure.
On a 10-hour flight or whatever, or 8-hour flight from your home. You'd like
Chiefs.
You'd
Chargers.
You'd like to have played North Dakota week 1, right? And then played Army, and then maybe your Arizona. You'd like to have Arizona not be a non-con game. But, I mean, they're just in this mess right now with the schedule. I don't know what to think about them. I don't know, man. They've shown the ability over the past 25 years, whatever, to be a program that wins the close games, does the things that matter to have it done. And right now they've played 3 close games, and the only one they won was against the FCS team. And now they made the plays at the end to do that. But I think North Dakota kind of got in a shell, and if they'd have gotten a first down on their last drive, K-State would have got the ball back. I don't think they were playing to punt the ball away, and they just gave K-State the chances and give Avery Johnson credit. They went down and scored. But Army just didn't give them the chances. Army's like, nah, we're not giving the ball back to them.
Why do teams and coaches do this? Where a lot of times...
I think there's enough evidence out there that you shouldn't, but they just do. I don't know.
You saw the NFL.
Yeah.
You saw it with the Ravens and Bills, where you have a chance to get 4 yards, the game's over, or you punt back. Even if you don't pick it up, the Bills are probably getting a field goal either way. With the way the offense was going, the way the Ravens defense was looking that second, like I just never understood the thought process of, all right, well, we get the first down, game's over, or we can give them a chance when our defense is gassed and they might be the better offensive team. They have the advantage here.
Yeah, it just happens that way. I don't know. I think they coach scared sometimes.
Dan Campbell doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He may this year.
As much as Andy Reid, we like to give a hard time for. When it was 4th and 2 and they had a chance to ice it, what'd they do?
Yeah, he's been. I don't think he got a real track record on exactly what he's going to do. He's kind of a mixed bag on those things.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people think he should go for it more.
I think so.
But like this last game, they were because they needed it. Needed it and got it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think the Cats. I think there's some troubles right now. They need to go find a way to get this win at Arizona on Friday. If they don't, you start off 1-3, and then they have their off week. It's not great. That's not great, especially the way it's gone. Army's just one of those teams that kind of mess you up that way. But
didn't mess up Tarleton State.
No, they didn't. But they also had a kind of new quarterback and all that stuff, and it took them a little while to get themselves going.
The new quarterback, the longest. Do you see who had the most pass yards for Army? The receiver who went 1 of 1 with 52 yards.
It's crazy watching them play games. It's nuts. And you always see these, in the service academies, in the bowl games and stuff. I'm taking them every time. Navy, Army, whatever, they'll do something, and the other teams are just like, whatever, it's bowl game, we're trying. And they're tough in the regular season, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough deal. That's a bad loss. K-State now has been a favorite and lost to Iowa State. They've been a 4-touchdown favorite and won by 4 points, and they were a almost 20-point favorite, right? 17-point favorite last week and lost outright at home. I mean, it's you can't slice it any other way, but a really rough start to the season for them. And they'll be facing Arizona, like I said, on Friday night. And I haven't seen the line yet on that. I'm sure Arizona's probably fair. I haven't seen the line yet. I don't know if there's one out.
Let me look it up.
I'm looking right now. I don't see one.
Okay. Might be
So
a little
maybe
early.
it's not out a little early because it's not till Friday. But yeah, it's big. And I don't know if Arizona's any good or what. They've played Hawaii and Weber State, and they've won both of them 40-something to single digits. That's what you're supposed to do in those games.
Took care of business.
So
We'll see.
I don't know. It's tough. Big 12's weird this year. I mean, Oklahoma State's terrible, obviously. That's not good. Iowa State looks good to me.
Yeah.
Iowa State now has a win over K-State. They have a win over Iowa, and then they have a destruction of one of the South Dakotas, one of the Dakota people. So they look pretty good. Utah's probably a little bit better this year than they were.
Baylor had a huge win.
Baylor had to come back. And Tech is the one they haven't played anybody yet, but Tech has spent so much money. It's so weird. The guy who has spent the money is the guy on the commercials that you see during the games. You see
Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes has some money. He ain't spent the kind of money this dude has. Cody, whatever his name is. He's the one who is the head of the Matador Club and all that stuff, and he's on the board of regents for Texas Tech, and he's doing the commercials you see during the games. Hey, their Olympic sports are in danger. We've got to get our hands on this. It's a weird message coming from the guy who's like, we're going all in on buying whoever they can buy to play football for Tech this year, and then he does commercials say, hey, stop this. Now, I'm going to try to win right now, but I don't want to do this every year.
Yeah.
We'll watch. It's going to be a never-changing thing on the dollars and cents on this and how it goes. You saw Mike Gundy last week complaining about Oregon's payroll or whatever, and Dan Lanning's
I also
like,
saw Mike
I'll
Gundy's
show
nipples
you.
last
Yeah,
week, too.
He was telling you a story of the old days. But then they went out there, and I think Dan Lanning, they were playing songs about money on the warm-ups and all this stuff, and, I mean, they just boat raced them. So, you can try to fight City Hall on that, but it's not going to work right now.
No. Before we take a break and play a little fact or fiction, Lebo, you saw the Big 12 officiating crew get suspended, at least reprimanded following that rules violation in that Mizzou-KU game. They had the situation where Missouri scored. They got the penalty for excessive celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And on that kickoff, instead of kicking off, they punted. And that apparently is not legal, according to Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6 of the NCAA football rules. So that Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled
This was
assignment
supposed to
on
be
Friday.
Must have been K-State game.
There you
It's
go.
Friday. Hey, listen, we think everyone knows the rules. There's a lot of weird little rules, and coaches and athletic departments try to get by with everything, and it's hard. I mean, you expect everyone to know all the rules really well, but keep this in mind. These guys, this is not their only job in the world. They got other things in their life. They're doing this. Now they're getting paid and all that stuff. But I guess you get suspended if you didn't know the rules. I mean, this is not this ain't the fifth down, okay? They did better than that.
Yeah, that was – why?
I just bring that up. Sorry I brought that
Why?
up. I'm just telling you, it's Missouri. Just bring it up. But, yeah, I mean, you think they all know all the rules. When you saw the thing with Brian Callahan with the Titans, he didn't know the rule on what a catch was. He's tried to change his stance on that yesterday, but, they don't all know him all the time.
Yeah. Not great, but I do like the accountability, at least, of,
do something with
having
him, yeah.
some sort of accountability. We'll take a break. We'll come back. A little fact or fiction coming up with Lebo. The Zone
And Darcy?
Sports Radio, 810 WHB. was that, Lebo?
I was gonna
Lebo
ask
was getting ready
Darcy.
to either yawn or sing.
I was going to say something. So, Darcy, you're a young man, right?
I am.
Okay, so I just saw this roll across the Twitter feed that, you know the song Work It by Missy Elliott?
No.
Yes, you do.
What?
Is your nipples wet yet? You know,
I've
if it
probably
gets-
heard
let
it.
me
I
work
don't know
it.
if I-
Yeah. It's 23 years old. So that's like almost as old as you, right?
If you got
It
a
is.
what? Let me search it.
Yeah.
Find out how
How
hard you gotta work it.
Is your nipples wet? Yeah, it's just reversed.
It's
it.
reversed. Yeah, I
it's
have
just
no-
reversed. You
What
can
does she
reverse it.
say?
It's just reverse it, and it says, I can't remember. I did it once with a computer. Anyway, the point is, that should make you feel old even, as a young man. It makes me feel really old. Whatever.
What does Missy
I
Elliott
should stop
say?
following this. I follow something called Retro News Now, and it's always telling me, oh, this came out 40 years ago. And I'm like, oh, boy.
Ah, it really is just I put my thing
You're
down,
down,
flip
pick
it, and reverse
They just reverse it.
And then it's
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So I need to unfollow this because all it does is make me feel really old. Because that song's not 23 years old.
I like it though.
It's not 23 years old.
Do you know that we're closer? You know, Bowling for Soup when they came out for 1985. We're closer to when the Bowling for Soup song came out than they were when they created 1985. Does that hurt?
That hurts.
That's a kick in the stones, right?
Yeah, don't like it.
And now
I
they're
don't like
probably
it.
singing about Missy Elliott and
Maybe.
Work It.
I'm old. I'm old. It's okay.
Which, by the way, 1985 is a cover.
1985, 40 years ago.
No,
We're coming on 40.
do you know that song by Bowling for Soup is a cover?
Yes. Well,
I told you that.
Nearly everything's a cover.
SR-71.
We're coming up. We're very close to like the 40-year anniversary of the Royals winning the World Series.
It was 30 years, not that long ago.
I know. That was
2
10
years
years ago.
Like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I feel like. Yeah. Hard to
40
believe the
years ago.
90s were just 10 years ago.
Except they were longer ago than
It
that.
feels like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it
Yeah.
feel like Pearl Jam was just 10 years ago? Alice in Chains?
Mm-hmm.
Not that long.
Except it was 30-some years ago.
Except it was like
No math
30
when
some years
Jason's
ago.
out.
Yeah. Math's only for Jason.
Math, I let Jason. It's
I mean,
like
I was-
let
I
V
was
channels. I let
at-
Jason.
I
handle
was
that.
at the World Series when the Royals won as a 15-year-old kid. And that's going to be 40 years ago.
I was at the Royals World Series when they won when I was a 21-year-old man-child.
You went to New York?
No, but I was at least the
So don't lie.
was it the wild card game.
Okay.
I went to a No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a World Series game
I was only
in 15.
45 way back then.
You're a youngin'. Look at you now. You're in better shape now than you were then.
That is true. That is true. Fact.
All right, fact or fix? There's only two, you guys.
I better not lose to Michael. He was horrible at this
He
last
was
time.
really bad.
He doesn't know you well enough.
Can you keep track of the scores? I don't feel like doing it.
Give me a piece of paper.
I don't have paper. I'll do it.
I've got it.
I'll do it.
Give me a paper right behind you. One of those folded up papers.
None of them are folded up.
The one's folded up or something's folded up. What do they say on it?
I don't know. It's a picture gallery.
Nah, just hand it to me.
We're on the back of it.
I'll run to the back.
I don't know what it's for. I
got
don't
it.
know. Yeah, there you go. You need a pen?
I've got a pen.
Okay. Always keep a pen.
Always keep a pen.
That's
should
what
always
I
have
learned
paper
from
with me.
Lebo. All right, fact or fiction? We'll start with Lebo since you're the guest.
Yep.
Mizzou wins at least 9 games now, not including bowl game.
You're going to say fact.
Am I?
I'm going to say fiction. I'm going to stay with what I believe.
Okay.
It's fact.
It's fact. They win at least 9 games, not including bowl games.
I should have kept it there because I knew what you were going to say.
Did you know, Lebo, since 2023, Missouri has the 4th most wins of any Power 4 college football team?
How about that?
Yeah, look at that.
That a fact?
Their league games or their non-cons and everything.
It includes, I think, just non-cons too. But still, it still counts. Leaves.
I'm not saying anything.
All right, Darcy. K-State wins less than 8 games now.
Fact.
Fact.
Fact. Yeah, I'm out.
That's a fact.
That's a bummer. I was so in on K-State
They're
this year.
0-2.
I was so in on
I was
K-State.
kinda-
I was so in.
I was kind of on their under. I like Missouri's over. KU was the one I wasn't exactly sure about, but I like the over on them now, even though they lost this game. The KU-MU game is a big one for, obviously, both of their teams to make the over. But the Cats I didn't have being 0-3.
Yeah, that's.
And I still didn't like them on the over. And now that they're 1-2, I'm like, I really don't like the over.
Yeah. Lebo, KU will be top 3 in the Big 12.
Counting ties.
I guess, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you're right.
I think they're right there in that third or fourth spot there. They have K-State at home. Big game for them at home. They also have Iowa State this year, I believe, right? That's a tough one. Schedule's the deal on this, man. The Big 12, I mean, but all these leagues now, your schedule is so wild with who you can play, and you may miss some teams. Let me real quick make a quick judgment on Kansas.
West Virginia, Cincinnati, at UCF, Texas Tech, K-State, Oklahoma State, at Arizona, Iowa State, Utah.
The end is tough. The last 3, 2 roadies, and then Utah at home. I'll say you've been fact on both of these, though. I'm going to say your KU bias this is a fiction.
I think you're higher on KU than you think you are. I'm going to go with fact.
I am going with fact.
No, that's
Man.
a fact. It's
Well, they
on
play
PBS.
West Virginia, Buns, Cincinnati, not good. At UCF,
I think they're going
not
to do well
good.
now.
Oklahoma State, not
They're
good.
no good.
As of now, Kansas State, not good. Arizona, I don't think is very good. I know it's at
It's on
Arizona.
the road.
I
think they're going to
Kansas-
Lubbock. They're going to Ames. They're going to Arizona. That's 3 games. That's going to be all they can do to win.
I just think that's a fairly easy schedule. So
It's not bad.
You know what's funny is, you know how Missouri had the easy schedule this year?
Mm-hmm.
You play number 11 South Carolina, Alabama, at ranked Auburn, at Vanderbilt. You play Texas A&M, at Oklahoma,
It's still
at
easier.
Arkansas.
Still easier.
How hilarious is
Don't
that?
look at Oklahoma's schedule.
Is it child's play?
You want me to read it to you?
I can pull it up right
no,
now.
I'll read it to you if you want to. You want to hear a schedule. You think Missouri's
Temple,
schedule is hard?
Kent State,
Then go. Go. Read.
home versus Auburn.
Auburn.
Missouri's on the road.
Okay, home.
Texas,
Heard of him?
at South Carolina, Mizzou,
Yeah.
same thing. Ole Miss, at
Ranked what?
Tennessee,
Yeah.
at Bama.
Yeah.
This is the toughest one. Missouri,
Yeah.
LSU.
What do all those teams have in common?
They're good.
They're all ranked. All of them. Ain't no Arkansas rolling through on this one.
Yeah, Arkansas that's the easy one.
Or Nova
It's at
Andy.
Arkansas. All right, the Royals, Darcy, will miss the playoffs by 1 game.
Fiction. They're going to miss by more.
Yeah, that's too hard to be exactly one. I'm going to say fiction.
Yeah, it's fiction. That was a trick one.
Because it could be they
Darcy
could make
got it. See, Darcy understands the game now. He
Yeah.
understands. I'm trying to trick you.
Tricky.
Trying to trick you. All right, Leaves. Even if it is a lefty on the mound over the next 2 games, Carter Jensen should play over Luke Maley.
Should? Yes. Fact.
Yes, should.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the lefty righty stuff when it's Luke Maley you're deciding between. Give me Carter. All right. The Colts will win at least 9 games this year.
9. Who's first on this? Me?
I think it's Leaves.
9. I got to look and see who all they're playing the Chiefs, right? So they're playing the West.
9.
Who's their NFC division?
The West.
At least not fiction.
I'm going to say fiction.
Fact.
He's fact on
That
everything.
is a fact.
I'm not.
Maybe a fact. but
I've
it
had
is
a fiction already.
Yeah.
I've already had
I should
fiction.
have said fact because 9. That's 9 and 8. So
That's
that would
9
be
and
9
8.
Yeah,
I think they seem like a 9 and 8 team. In
They
that
could be there.
NFC or AFC South. Ooh.
AFC South is not much, but I don't see them doing well against the AFC West
No.
or the NFC West. So,
Yeah.
but they're playing last place teams in the others. So
We'll
Yeah.
see. All right, Darcy.
I like how you're 1 game and you're in.
What do you mean?
They beat the Dolphins team that's a toast. It's a train wreck.
I never said anything different. Darcy, I was pleased by Kingsley Sumanti'ia and Josh Simmons week 1.
Yes, you were. That's a fact.
You must have been talking to him. I don't think you probably were, but I'm going to say fact because he said fact.
Fact, I was
said
pleased. I thought outside of a handful Really, only the one Kingsley Sumatia rep
Turned into a great play. Though.
turned into a great play because he knew that if Patrick rolled out, the defense would be flustered, and that's what happened. So
a little
Kingsley,
disappointed in Simmons with a couple of penalties.
but overall for Week 1, I was pretty pleased.
47,000 people in a neutral crowd. That's got to get you jumping.
I was pleased.
Okay.
All right, we'll go to Lebo. Jalen Moore should start Week 2 at right tackle.
Fact.
Based off your Twitter, I'm going to say fact.
Fact. What did I say on Twitter?
Basically that Jalen Moore needs to start Week 2.
Yeah, I think I did probably. That sounds like me. Darcy. Pineapple juice is hands down the most underrated juice out there.
That's so random. I'm going to say... Can you say the question one more time?
Pineapple juice is hands down the most underrated juice out there.
You were trying to sell it too much, Fiction.
It's fiction. Too many declaratives. I mean, too many absolutes.
Fact. It is the greatest juice of all time.
But who rates it low?
People.
Who?
The national media.
Mainstream.
The juice ratings.
The mainstream.
Word on the street.
No.
No one's talking about pineapple juice.
The Main Street.
Mainstream media's big juice.
Big OJ has been having a stranglehold on pineapple juice, and this is
the crayon apple people are on you.
Juice is loose.
Oh my God.
Big Crayon is really driving down the pineapple
juice is so good they can only sell it in little cans. That's how good it is.
That's a fact.
It's too powerful to be in a big bottle.
It is. You put it in a big bottle, it's too much.
Too much.
You can't handle it. Gosh, I love pineapple juice. Big pineapple guy. Darcy. We got off somehow, I think. Darcy.
Really?
McCole Hardman will be a Chief again this year.
I'm going to say fact.
Fiction. You can't go back.
Fiction.
Wrong.
Fiction.
Finally got one on him.
Lebo.
Yeah.
I dislike the new kickoff rules in the NFL.
You've talked about this before.
Because you never listen.
I don't retain. That's different. Fact.
Fiction. I like the new kickoff rules. I like seeing kick returns. It's been more fun. 1 week, but I enjoy it. I actually am kind of like agnostic on it. I don't really care that much either way.
Of course, there were still some, touchbacks in the Chiefs game.
I'm like...
I was told there'd be kick returns. They're both kicking touchbacks.
There's like 85% of the NFL has that's maybe too high. Like 77% has been returns though. It's been great.
Hope it stays that way.
Darcy, let's round this thing up.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Okay.
And then we have the bonus.
Yes.
I know it's one game, but the Steelers look like a legit playoff team.
I'm going to say... Oh, you're really high on the Steelers. I'm going to say fiction, though.
I'm going to say fact.
It's a fact.
We're tied. We're really tied.
What is it, like 8-8?
7-7.
No, 7-7.
We're actually
I had
tied.
a pretty good round of keeping you guys on your toes.
That was pretty good.
I'm just saying.
What's the
Steelers
category?
look like a legit playoff team right now. Bonus. Rank the final standings of these 4 teams. I don't need like the win total.
Right,
just rank them. Dolphins, Giants, Colts, Raiders. You got that?
Dolphins, Giants, Colts, Raiders.
Dolphins, Giants, Colts, Raiders. Rank
Okay.
those 4 in order. We'll take a break, come back. We'll hear the bonus. The Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB.